Hosted by Foster Chico. Every Monday from 4 to 7 p.m. on Fire FM 107.7. Call us at 758-572-3473. It's Full Disclosure this Monday and every Monday 4 to 7 p.m. with Foster Chico.
Good day, bonjour everybody. Good day. This is Full Disclosure. I'm Foster Chico. Angie, the co-pilot, is checking on the gauges, making sure everything is everything is working before we go to high altitude. I want to start off very fast. Saying good day to my Castrosis people, Mr. Peter Chico and wife, and the executive members, Mr. Jordan Allen, our chairman, our floor members, our supporters, our persons who assisted us financially, and sponsors and so on. Everybody, tout le monde, bonjour. We will be here probably just until about 7 p.m. with you, so I tell you it's going to be a bumpy ride. We're going to be traveling at about 1,000 miles per hour at altitude. How high, Angie? 80,000 feet? 80,000 feet. Although we will be in the air, I can tell you, make sure you have, if you have slippers on, change it. Get some steel toe, get some rubber shoes, get a closed shoe, because we are going to, there's things that will make us run. And I'm going to be addressing the police today. The police commissioner, the deputy commissioner, and other ranks. I will be touching the police buttons today. So prepare yourselves for a hot show. So good day, my colleagues, my police friends. After 45 and a half years, I'm very sorry, my people. 99% of my friends are police officers because they are the ones that I worked with all the time, all my life. At the age I am there now, I don't think I'm living another, I'm going to double my age. So, when I consider the age that I joined the force at 19 and a half years, and where I am today, I'm not living another 50 years. I know that for sure. So, all my friends are police officers. I have tried my best from the time I joined in 1989 to ensure that I follow the advice of my parents. My parents always tell us, let me tell you, your name is better than money, and it's better than anything that you can attain. So protect your name and your reputation, your integrity. That is what we know. This is why I am the 5th person in my family to have retired from the public service. And we all put in more than 40 years. I believe I may have put in the most because I did 45 and a half, or probably my sister did. But everybody did over 40 years. So we're looking at, on average, we did 150 years plus of public service to this country. So I don't want no Tom, Dick, and Harry, fly-by-night person who have never toiled, who have never sacrificed, who have done a full day's work to come and criticize me or any of my siblings when we make a point on our experience in the public service. All right? We don't know everything, but I believe the experience that we have gathered, if I put it together, I cannot find one household I may not be able to find one household in St. Lucia with that number of years of experience. So, there are a number of topics I will take on this afternoon, but I have to dedicate most of today's show to the police force, RSLPF, a place that I believe I know very well. When I joined on the 20th of January 1989, when I came to police headquarters to be enlisted, when I was enlisted into the force, it was the first full day that I did at a police station. Now I recall my mother always telling us when we were giving trouble at home. My mother always used to tell us, listen, my mother had 9 boys. And you know that ain't nothing easy, a house with 9 boys. My mother always used to tell us, she don't know where the courthouse is. She don't know where the police station is. Her name was never called in court. She never had a name put in the police station diary. Don't look for any trouble or bring any trouble home for her. And she gave us that caution very often because my mother knew she was raising 9 boys. And my mother used to be the enforcer in the house, My father didn't used to beat us, My mother was the one who used to be swinging the belt. And my mother lived until she was 91 years. And no police never came in front of her door. As a matter of fact, it's so strange. It's so ironical. My mother had 3 of us in the police force. And she would tell you she don't know where the police station is. My mother don't know where the police station is, and I know she was being honest when she said that. She didn't need to know. She didn't have cause to know where the police station is. All right, so that is why I'm going to represent my deceased mother and father today on this show. All right, now I heard Angie. I was in and out of a program on my way here. And, before I go, let me just say a good day to our Sikh members, UWP members, but especially those from the caste resist branch. I want to wish you all a speedy recovery and that the good Lord would stretch out his hand and touch you all and soothe your pain or suffering and heal you all. That is what we all are asking for. And also, secondly, Mr. Patrick John, I understand tomorrow is your golden day for the 1st of March. And don't ask me who told me. So I'm expecting that tomorrow. I know your favorite drink. You like your nice red wine, cold. I'm hoping that you secure 2 or 3 bottles so that we can pop. Because that milestone you have reached there, I want to reach it too, although I said in the beginning of the show that I ain't seen 100. But I want to touch your age that you touch there. If I can look the way you're looking, I want to touch that age too. So, advance birthday greetings to you, Mr. Patrick John. And your wife, who's taking very good care of you, I wish her a good day also. That is one of our most loyal elderly statesmen in caste resist, my people. So, Mr. Patrick John, take a bow. All right, let's go now. Last week I gave you 2 tips that I said I will try to give 2 tips at the beginning of each show. Today's stint would be, since we have so much concern about loud music, under section 550 of our criminal code, it states that for you to play loud music in any vehicle, any house, any public place, you have to have a permit from the police. And contrary to that, the guys who are going around with those music boxes on top of their vehicles playing in the dead of night, you see, you all must have respect for people's rest and people's quiet time. You all are passing by churches, you all are passing by schools, you all passing by funerals, you all passing by any gathering. Your young fellas are passing. You all are not turning down your music. You all don't care. Go by the beach or go in the bush somewhere if you all want to play and damage your eardrums. Don't come and disturb the neighborhood with your nonsense. All right? So that's the caution for you all. Section 550 of the Criminal Code states that you must have a permit obtained from the police commissioner in order for you to play loud music. All right? Now, some of you people at home, don't think that you're escaping, you know. You cannot get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, and play. Whether it is country and western, whether it is gospel music, whether it is rap music, whether it's reggae music, it gives you no right. You have no authority to wake up people in their bed at 4 o'clock and play country and western or any music from 4 in the morning onwards, and you play that the whole day like you play music for the community. This is an offense, people. And once you have one person making a complaint, the police can come, and in the first instance they can caution you to turn it down. But if you continue and the police comes back, of course, to come back after further complaints are made, the police can seize what is making the noise. And that would include either your speakers or your amplifier. So if you can play the set without speakers, the police can just take the speakers and leave you, and they have the right to do that under the criminal code. So that's one. All right, so be guided by what I just said there. And you can go to section 550 of the criminal code. Google it if you believe I'm telling a lie. That's what the other talk shows are not doing, you know. Educating. They like to talk rural nonsense and politics. Educate the people. Okay, NBC? Y'all morons. I'm coming for you all a little later. Tint on motor vehicles. According to the St. Lucia Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, your front windscreen should not have more than 8 inches of tint from the top of the windscreen down to the middle of the windscreen. It should not have more than 8 inches. Now, most windscreens have an edge, a tint on a manufacturer's tint on it. And we including that 8 inches or excluding that 1 inch tint, you can have 8 inches from the edge of that manufacturer's tint downwards. Now, some officers will measure from the top of your windscreen by the outside down to the edge of your tint, and they may get 9 or they may get 10 or 11, and they may issue you a ticket for having more than 8. But officers, I want to guide you that there is normally one most windscreens have a 1-inch tint towards the top. So when you're measuring, don't measure from the top of the windscreen outside. You can see the difference between the applied tint and the manufacturer's tint. Because I believe the manufacturer's tint is inside the glass. I am instructed that a police officer issued a ticket to a gentleman. The man's vehicle is less than a year old. He bought it brand new from one of the dealers in St. Lucia. And when he was stopped, the officer asked him why he tinted his entire windscreen. And then the driver said he never tinted the windscreen. So the officer started writing a ticket. And then he asked having written the ticket before he handed it to the driver, he asked the driver to remove the tint. So the driver told him that he cannot remove the tint. The tint is not on the glass, the tint is within the glass, which means it's manufactured that way. And in his anger, the officer just gave the man the ticket. And he told him, I'll go and pay the ticket or come to court. Tell the magistrate that. So the driver decides, and the owner of the vehicle decides that he is going to contest the ticket. And he went to the dealer, he got the necessary document to indicate that the vehicle was not tinted in St. Lucia. The vehicle came, so the vehicle has manufactured tint, the manufacturer's tint in the windows. And so he will proceed to court. I believe the case has been heard, but on a subsequent show, I will give you an update. I hope to find out from him what happened in that matter. But there is no way that the officer can win that case. I can tell you that. The court will just withdraw that ticket because it is not the man's making. It's not done by his hand. So, but you who are tinting your vehicle, be guided by that if you give somebody to place tint on your vehicle, ensure that the tint that they put in on the windscreen is not more than 8 inches, the front windscreen, not more than 8 inches deep. I have seen tint that's over 12 inches, some 14 inches, and that's almost double. So that constitutes an offense. So be guided by that, my people. Okay, so that's the two tints. First, the loud music, and then the tint. Because in the interest of time, I see it, okay. Okay, we have just over an hour. I'm going to go into the police. I am understanding that over the weekend, I wonder, and it's not only today that's happening, you know. On Saturday, I received some information that a promotion was done in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And I was furnished with some names of the persons who were elevated to the rank of inspector, ASP, superintendent. Knowing most of the individuals, I felt happy in some cases for some persons, and well, I won't say sad, because and I've always said the persons who were promoted did not promote themselves. So if I have some reservations about somebody who's promoted, I'm not really blaming that person. I'm blaming the system that promotes that person. So, Mr. God, I understand your contract has ended, you're on leave, or you have expired, it has expired. I don't know what you own, but you're no longer there. So I'm going to address Mr. Shalry, the deputy. I call him first because he's senior. And Mr. Philip, the second deputy. I have a big problem with you all. And the SCPs, well, the executive of the force, but especially the two deputies. Some time ago, when I was in the service, around 2000, in the year 2000, persons raised certain issues about promotions being, done at the spur of the moment, for friendship, whatever. And that was the cry of the police at that time. There was a system in place where you have to apply for the rank or write an exam. So if you're a constable, your next rank is corporal. You apply for the corporal rank, you submit whatever you have to submit, whatever courses you have done, your appraisals, your qualifications, whatever, and if there is a written exam, you go to write the exam. If you don't attempt the corporal exam as a constable, and other persons apply, and let's say there is a vacancy for 10 corporals, you did not apply, but the persons who applied have been put on a waiting list from number 1 to number 10. How comes a man who did not apply as a constable getting promoted before somebody who's placed on a list pending, on a pending list? How can that happen? And how can that happen in respect of any of the ranks? How can you not apply for sergeant and you're a corporal? You did not take the sergeant exam. There are persons who applied, passed, did not get sergeant, but a man who did not write the exam being promoted to sergeant. How can that happen? How are you all sitting there? Why are you all sitting in an executive and you all are doing those kind of things? And it is not just happening now. It happened in the time that I wrote exams. It happened to me. Just today, I am getting to, a friend is sending me a list of the results of an inspector's exam. Let me read it for you. Promotion process August 2020 to September 2020. 2020, we're in 2026, and that's the first time I'm seeing that. Honestly, I tell you that with no lie, no joke. I wrote and I submitted my name and my whatever, my qualifications, whatever, for the rank of inspector, from sergeant to inspector, in 2020. The results indicate that my name is 7th on the list of how many officers? Just give me a little second. Out of 44 sergeants, 44, my name is 7th, receiving a score of 96.25%. So, 3 persons from number 1 to number 3 got 100%. And number 4 to number 7, let me just make sure. No, 4 to number 8. 4 to 8 got 96.25. So I am included in the number 4 to number 8 because I came number 7. So call it 4 of us. 4 of us got, 5 of us got the same score. So you can basically say 5 of us came second. All right, 3 came first, and 5 of us came second. That was in 2000. I'm getting to know that for the first time today. I was promoted to inspector in, boy, time fly by so much. In what year? In 2021. Now, according to the promotion policy that I spoke about earlier, at the time the promotion process policy came out, it was agreed upon and it is documented that you have to spend at least 3 years in the rank before you can move on to another rank. Listen well. You ought to spend 3 years in a particular rank so that you can qualify, you can get to fill the rank and to properly adjust yourself to the duties the duties that carry the rank carries. 3 years before you move to another rank. Now, I retired in 2024. So, by virtue of me getting promoted in 2021, I just barely qualified or got confirmed in that rank after 3 years, which got me to retire as an inspector. So if I got promoted, let's say I got promoted in 2022 and I had to leave in 2024, I would have only spent 2 years, so I would have gone back to my previous rank. I would only be qualified to get the gratuity of a sergeant and not an inspector because I had not spent 3 years as an inspector. This is happening and this is being used as a weapon in that force for a long time. Gazetted officers and the executive of the force have been using that weapon against the police officers for a long time. And Mr. Gad, Mr. Shalry, Mr. Philip, you all must break away from that kind of nonsense that you all are doing. Especially now, out of the list that the new promotions that came off there, man, when I saw that, y'all had a phrase saying, I cry, but I almost cried, when I saw that. There's some of the laziest people. Some of the laziest people are the ones getting promoted. And you have dedicated police officers who are working. I recall my good friend, and I'm not saying that because he's my friend, because I have always defended him on programs. I've always said our history. I know we got together, we were working together from very early, the early 1990s. That is Jan Gustav, a name that I'm sure anybody who's listening to that program would have heard that name on different talk shows, saying negative things about the man. This man is one of the best sergeants in the RSLPF. And I recall on the 30th of June 2017, when we got promoted together as sergeant this month today, we're approaching June 2026. Almost 9 years after. You know the number of persons who have moved from sergeant to inspector and past inspector onwards in the 9 years, and the man is still a sergeant. Why? The man has no disciplinary matters against him, except one where that joker Richard Frederick brought a frivolous complaint against the man, going on the man's Facebook page and talking some nonsense, how the man call him jackass. Can you believe that? A minister of government is filing a complaint against a police officer just because he and the man seem to be on different political sides, and he's out to get the man so that the man don't get promoted. And the executive of the force is taking that and using that against the man for 9 years. That is unfair. And I didn't ask Jan Gustav to use that. I know it's for a good cause, so you wouldn't mind. And I'm not telling anything there that other members of the force don't know. I'm not saying anything right now that other police officers cannot agree with 100%. This is a man. I recall, let me just give you some feedback on that. After 2017, after the promotion, I was walking along Chaussee Road, heading towards Masha. When I heard Chico Boy, immediately I recognized the voice as that of Richard Frederick. Boy, congratulations! Just the same way I'm saying it there, that's what he said. Congratulations, boy, on your promotion. I heard you got promoted, boy. I like that. Only one person I didn't like that got promoted was Jan Gustav. The man shouted that from almost 2 blocks away from me. When he said that, I walked towards him. I was dressed in police uniform. I walked towards him. And I told him, man, what do you have against Jan Gustav? Jan Gustav is one of the best sergeants in the RSLPF. And I still say that today. Jan Gustav is one of the most dedicated sergeants in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And one of the most knowledgeable sergeants. I ain't saying that just because Jan Gustav is my friend. The executive members, Mr. Shalry and them knows that. You're playing politics with the man. I ain't the force again. You can do me anything, you know. If I was a policeman, I couldn't say that. But I am telling you, stop playing politics. You, Mr. Gad, and Mr. Shalry and the rest of the executive, stop following instructions from foolish politicians and treat everybody equally. You're doing a lot of nonsense. Papi show. So when Richard Frederick told me that I fall in my tail, at that time it wasn't an MP. I fall in his tail on Chaussee Road. And I tell him, boy, you see, you're a sick man, you know. And I told him, you can recall when me and Jan Gustav came to you, having told the old prison, that old nonsense that they demolished there. We taught that on our own. Gustav and myself in uniform. We took off our caps and we were walking through the bushes in the prison there. Looking was suitable to see the condition, to see. And we went through the custody suite block, realizing that that block was a well-maintained block. It was solid. We subsequently went to Richard Frederick's office, the two of us, and we told him that we can expand that and make it custody suite, a holding area for prisoners. The man gave Dexter, that SLP used to call him a barboy on Jeremy Street. They say he ain't no contractor. He's Richard Frederick's boy, so Richard Frederick give him to make money. That was what SLP was saying at the time when custody suite was refurbished. Talking nonsense now about custody suite. Philip, you know about custody suite? Ask me and William Gustav about custody suite. We don't know about custody suite. Not your jokers. Not Sean. Not Alva. Not Musa. Those guys don't know nothing about that. Not Richard, not even Richard Frederick. So when I caution Richard Frederick and I really put blows on him for talking his nonsense, you know what he ended up telling me? Oh yes, Gasser, I forget. What? I forget that. That's true, man. You and Jan Gustav that came to me. And the man promised me that on his next show, he would come and say the truth about custody suite. And he did say it. Richard Frederick, I'm lying. Esmagamati. You joker. Am I lying? But you're getting me vexed, you know. I can say a lot of things that is not, but it's not good for radio. And gee, I'm just trying. But let me tell you all. Stop playing politics with the police force, man. At a time when we need the police to have their heads on, when you're doing more nonsense. We have had 5 years, even though you're trying to hide the records. We have had 5 years of record homicides. According to Philippe, homicides. I don't know where you get that damn word from. You can't say the word up to now. We have had Philippe broken the homicide record 5 times. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And he's well set to breaking it 26. Talking nonsense, man. Promote the right people and stop doing pappy show. People who have all kind of questionable allegations on their head, you're promoting them. And you have a man, I can tell you a lot about Jan Gustav, you know. I tell you not because the man is my friend. That's the man, the only man who did a 360 with a Mazda pickup van. I was his co-pilot. I always have to take the opportunity to joke about that. Trying to chase in a man called John Slade. And you know, incidentally, John Slade is still alive, you know. I thought, I met the man some time ago during the election campaign. John Slade at the time was a notorious bandit. Well, we were in Easter time, so but the man was like a Barabbas, St. Lucian Barabbas. And the man was wanted by the police, and Gustav and myself, Gustav was driving, heading down Chaussee Road towards Marshall. And who goes past us but John Slade on a motorbike? Boy, and we take off behind John Slade. When John Slade reached close to the Marshall junction with Chaussee Road there, he made a 360 in the road. And Jan Gustav make a 360 with the pickup van too, the police van, siren on and everything. Boy, an old lady say she never see that. She say on BJ, you remember the movie BJ and the Bear? She says only Sheriff Lobo and them alone she see drive a police vehicle so already. And we didn't catch John Slade. He wrecked the bike damaged a vehicle and he ran. But he was captured after that. We are not playing, you know. We were in the traffic department. We were not playing. Jan Gustav was a member of the traffic department at that time. I do normally joke on Jen. I tell her we were working on the high-tension wires. That was true. Not the traffic department we have now. We're talking about 1995, 96, people. 1996 was how many years ago, Angie? 40 years? 40 years today we're talking about. 40 years ago, we had a better traffic department then than we have now. That's a fact. And it was men like Jan Gustav, myself, Curtis Farwell, Tutu James, Brian Alfred, Green. Some of those men left the force as constables. When they turned 55 years, you refuse to promote them. And you're only promoting all kind of renegades. As I've said, I'm not against the fellows who get promoted, If you're crooked and you get promoted, it's not your fault. You didn't promote yourself. It's the fault of the commissioner and his deputies and his ACPs. Their fault, they promote you. Not your fault. You can apply for whatever you want. The same way you're applying for a visa and you're not getting it, you can apply for promotion and you not get it too. They're not bound to promote you if your record is not good. But if a man is working, give the man his promotion. But the same fellows you don't want to promote, you want them to go and work prosecution. Tout ça on promote qui pas connaît travailler. Voyez your prosecution unit. Send them to the High Court. You know why you cannot send them there? Because you know they don't know what it takes to work in the court, or they cannot prosecute. Because to prosecute, you must know the black and white. That. You must know that. You can't promote tout qualité monde qui pas écrit on you. The fellows cannot write a report, you promoting them? You promoting them to do what? For the people they're supervising to advise them. So there, Angie, you laughing? I'm vexed, Angie's laughing like it's a joke. People, that's not a joke, and I'm I'm not happy.
Foster, why you so? They're being promoted so that the people they work for.
But that's what happening in the force.
But Foster, that's not the only place that's happening.
The whole country is so.
No.
When you have a prime minister who say he doesn't know nothing, and the man is calling himself a general.
Hold on, Foster. I know. I'm laughing. Yeah, I think you should. I provided you with some.
I drink in all of that because I make belly hot.
So, but Foster, our politicians are promoted by the people so that the technocrats in the ministries can advise them.
You see the blind in the blind.
Somebody asked me on my show today, because we were talking about qualifications, and somebody asked me, when you look at having a doctorate, somebody says having a doctorate doesn't seem to qualify you for anything, because when you look at the Minister of Tourism, he has a doctorate.
Oh dear.
And you don't even hear nothing yet.
I know.
He has a doctorate, but he's not qualified in tourism. I had to point out that the man's qualifications, he has a doctorate and a master's in politics, one in politics and one in psychology. The man is well trained to mama guy, but not in tourism.
Angie, I'm vexed, I'm not vexed.
I know you're vexed.
I just want to vent.
I know.
Whenever I get vexed, I just swallow in that microphone.
I need the microphone first. You need it for next week. The thing is, You see, you venting, and I can see the steam coming out of your ears now. I had to low down the fire because next thing
I drinking water because I hot.
You never. It was getting hot in the office and the AC is on full blast. So I mean, I had to cool you down a little bit, Foster. But pertaining to what you're saying, let's talk Ronald Phillip.
Oh Lord.
I know you're going. I know you're going to start whistling. Please don't start whistling like the kettles. My grandmother had this kettle when the water. It used to whistle to call you. I know you're going to start boiling soon. But did you see the investiture ceremony?
No, I didn't.
I should play you a piece because you might be quite interested in. I played it.
You think I need to see that? I have a feeling I heard you from outside.
Yeah.
Angie.
But I mean.
But there is something I want to say about the executive and Ronald Phillip. I have nothing against Ronald Phillip. Nothing, absolutely nothing. But I think in my lifetime and in my first time, Mr. God did something that troubling my psyche. What Mr. God did and said in the presentation or during the time of the investigation involving Ronald Phillip is unprecedented. No other commissioner, and Angie, I was counting the number of commissioners that I worked with in 45 and a half years. I think the number is 12. All right? Boy, when did God come in? 2 years ago, I was there when God came in. I can't even recall. But if God was there, if I was there when Mr. God came in, God would probably be either number 12 or 14th. I've never heard a commissioner of police made a pronouncement on a rape case investigations. Never, never, never. That has never happened. And we have the clip. So it's not, I have nothing against Mr. God either. Mr. God said that he is the one. He is the one to give the instructions on whether somebody will be charged for rape, because he was he investigated rape himself. Mr. God, to the best of my knowledge, I calling you a liar, but I can't recall you investigating anything in the force.
Well, I beg to differ. I mean, the amount of FAR vehicles, the amount of vehicles that had FAR number plates that were investigated by Mr. God. I mean, you're forgetting that. You know, I mean, people have said that Mr. God used to hold the traffic stop by himself and question people as to why they have FAR on their number plate. So I mean, I'm guessing there was some modicum of investigation in these procedures. I mean, I don't know the correct term.
You're making me laugh.
I have to lower down your pressure. I don't want you to explode inside of it. The AC started getting hot a while ago. I had to. So I mean, I beg to differ. I mean, I don't know if there was rape involved. Maybe the FAR. Maybe one unlucky perpetrator of a sexual crime was driving a FAR. You don't know, but I know Mr. God investigated those criminally exposed FAR license plate holders quite thoroughly. I mean,
Angie,
I'm looking at. I see he have a pickup. I want to see if he'll put a FAR on it. Let me.
Angie, Mr. God made that pronouncement, and from the time I heard that, all the bells started ringing at the same time. Because that is unprecedented. That is not his role. I don't know any commissioner would demand to see a rape file or rape allegation file investigation or murder file. I don't know any commissioner that would insist that that reaches his desk. I have never heard of that.
But
Never.
okay, but have you heard of commissioners saying that files needed more
No.
meat?
No.
I guess
No.
I'm guessing because he felt that the file was inadequate.
Yeah, but for you to know, but again,
Hold on.
again, if you're not an investigator, how can you know that? Angie, I did most of my time. I
Somebody
did
said
traffic investigation.
Somebody said Mr. God investigated the amount of stock at the Botley pantry and farm.
I did traffic investigation. So if you are a traffic officer, Angie, and you give me an investigation file, I will tell you, I'll go through it and I'll tell you, as your supervisor, I'll tell you, Angie, you need to, if you going on that basis, you need to give that measurement. Did you take that measurement? Or you need that measurement? Or that person said that, did you investigate that point that the person, to reach your conclusion, to come to your conclusion? Because you cannot go before the court if you don't cover your tracks. So you would know, by virtue of you doing the investigation, you know what is required in the points to prove. Every offense has points to prove. Every crime has points to prove. So if the ingredients are not in the file, it will be very difficult or almost impossible for you to convict somebody on your conclusion if the file is inadequate. But you would have had to know for you to peruse the file.
Well, the gentleman claimed to have perused the file quite thoroughly.
That's not his role. There is an officer in charge of crime. That is normally a superintendent or if not an ASP. That sees the file. That's an officer. The commissioner don't see those files.
Foster.
So that is my first problem with
Foster.
Mr. God.
The criminals are updating. Maybe the commissioner is updating as well. I don't know. But Mr. God decided that he wanted to peruse the file, and according to him, the file was inadequate, so he sent it back. The question I want to ask, Foster, the question
Yes.
I want to ask in all of this, and I know you're saying that the commissioner doesn't see the file.
The commissioners, previous commissioners don't make that statement because they don't get involved in that.
These previous commissioners were not vanguard. My question is,
I agree with you.
how is it that you can give a subordinate of the person under investigation to investigate the
Exactly.
commanding officer?
Exactly.
That is my question. Is that
That's not protocol.
okay?
That flies in the face of transparency. If you're a sergeant, Angie, an inspector has to investigate a complaint against you. All right? One rank above you or a rank above you. If you're a corporal, a sergeant, you cannot give a corporal to investigate a corporal or sergeant to investigate a sergeant. That's why the chains, those things are there, those procedures are there for a reason. Angie, the force is a paramilitary organization. That is how it is supposed to be. Don't come and recreate things and
Reinvent the wheels,
mash up things and do cocoa maca creating things.
Well, Foster, it's time for us to take a short commercial break while you keep your...
I'll drink some cool water.
Yes, I did provide you with some. Full disclosure is brought to you with the kind compliments of behind the scenes artisans, flowers and things. Visit us at Behind the Scenes Artisans, Flowers and Things, located at Unit 8 in the Valmore Shopping Complex on St. Louis Street, Castries. We are a creative one-stop shop specializing in wreaths and corsages for all occasions, flower arrangements for every event, including anniversaries, weddings, storefront decorations, and events. And we also carry greeting cards, gift paper, and books from local writers in store. We're open from Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also provide decorations for all activities. Contact us at telephone number 758-285-4897 for all your decorating needs.
You already know the power of Licks products on your clothes and household. You Licks your whites and colored clothes, leaving them fresh and scented. You Licks your dishes and left your hands protected with vitamin E. You Licks your floors, even Licks your toilet. Now we expand and bring you 3 new scents in our fabric softener: Balmy Sunshine, Summer Sunshine, and Thousand Flowers. And rinse those stains off of colored clothes with Licks Color Scent Bleach. Licks went even further with Body Care body soap bars in deodorant and antibacterial. So Licks tiredness and bacteria out and refresh your tired body. Your products giving you Licks? Then choose Licks from the main distribution week. Available at all leading supermarkets.
All right, we're back here on Full Disclosure with myself, Angie, and Mr. Foster Chico. And Mr. Chico is really hot this afternoon. But let's turn our attention to the Facebook platform because it's been buzzing. I thought Foster was the one whistling, but apparently it's the Facebook platform because it's busy as the proverbial bee. Somebody is saying, my brother, you have my support. I've been listening to you over the years and you've been doing a great job, especially giving the facts. So kudos to you. Somebody says not only MBC and Minister of Luggage as well talk a whole heap of Beatties. Somebody is saying, you mean the one with a degree in gripology? Oh my God, what am I going to do with our audience here on Fire FM? I don't know what to do with these guys. Can't live with y'all, but I can't live without y'all either. Somebody is saying here, don't like listening to loud music. Another says, just let them know that God is not seeing. What? I think that person meant sleeping. Another says, wow, that's not right. Somebody says, these things have always been happening. Another says, oh, wow. Somebody said Richard D. must come. Somebody says, wow, sad situation in St. Lucia. Another says, oh my God, lost for words, but then that sounds like him, Richard. Richard, his day will come. Another person says, that's exactly who he is, big, loud mouth. Somebody says, give it to them, Foster. I like, what exactly were you? I stepped away for a minute, guys. Did I miss something? What was going on in here, Foster? What happened? I was outside for like 2 minutes. Somebody says, I am back to listen. Another says, Foster, you're making me laugh. Another says, Angie, if it's true, it's not funny. Somebody says, but a man was placed as deputy commissioner and maybe commissioner, a man who has a problem with his hands, no respect for the nation. I am afraid to ask what exactly the problem with his hands is, but I suspect I know. I suspect I know. Somebody says, wow. Another says, Mr. God did investigate the amount of stock at the Bodley Pantry and Farm. Somebody says, are you saying that Vern upgraded from the Commissioner of Police to the Criminal of Police? This makes... Hold on. This makes sense to me. I remember when he chose to sing, he was so proud and full of himself. Yes, what was up with that first? I wanted to ask you.
You know, it was the
chat he
did, the little rant he did. How you call it? Karaoke.
I don't know where he was carrying that key to, but he didn't get far. So the commissioner of police in full uniform gets up at the opening ceremony, I think,
Of custody suite.
of custody suites, and decides of all things to break out into extempo. Or was that well, it's not true extempo, because extempo is more. What exactly was he doing? Give me a minute. I'll figure it out. Give me a minute.
Somebody said the word, you know.
Freestyling. Let's say he was freestyling a reggae song. And I'm thinking, are you serious? You're the commissioner of police. This is an official. You are representing the institution in an official capacity. What exactly are you doing? What is your take on that, Foster?
I believe it was
I think you
out
should
of
take
place.
another deeper breath.
It was
because-
out of place, Angie, and I guess the commissioner was feeling he was in his right circle, so he was just feeling so happy. He dropped his guard down. No pun intended. God dropped his guard.
God dropped his
You
guard.
should always be on your guard, Mr. God. People are seeing those things when you do that. That was too blatant. You felt you were in your element, so you could have just rant and extempo and freestyle. And people are wondering, but first time they hear something
Yeah,
like that.
it was quite shocking
You know?
to me. I mean,
From that time, you dropped the ball. The ball was not in your hand again. You were just running on the field like a madman. You don't know which goal you're scoring in. From that day, you lost that ball, Mr. God. Take it from me. You're a young man in the game. Don't let people play ball, make you run around like a mad fowl. And that's what you ended up being. So, Angie, my instructions are that prior to Mr. God proceeding, contract coming to an end, a promotion list was made. That's gazetted officers, so that's above the rank of inspector. But certain persons were not included.
and who were these individuals?
But I have files, you know, Angie.
Guys, Foster says he
So-
has files, but in actual fact, Foster has books. I didn't even know that was possible. I mean, I was expecting files, but Foster, you came with your yellow briefcase today. Did this come from the
I
briefcase?
have a briefcase there nearby. I have a briefcase. So,
Is it the briefcase, the one for the
briefcase.
passports, or
no,
the one
no,
for the
not
files?
that one. We can't look at that one yet. You remember the lockbox? A certain person said they got the lockbox, but it was unlocked
Uh-huh.
and it was empty. But that person is the one that have a passport, a briefcase of passports that nobody can look at. So, my instructions are that Mr. God submitted a promotion list.
Okay.
Somebody felt that certain persons were excluded and there was some discord. Persons were even threatening to write a petition.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But some smart persons say, wait, his contract ending just now, let him go. So from the 1st of March, other lists were submitted. The very people, the very persons that could not have been on the first promotion list are promoted in a second list. That's fair.
And that is
That's
not,
transparent.
and that is not the list. And are you saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, that this list is different from the one Mr. God approved?
Yes, because it now includes the persons that did not qualify the first time.
Question. Were any qualifying activities performed by these individuals?
No, it's just a different person submitting a different list. Now you must understand how the force operates, Angie. There's only one big chair in the force. The biggest chair in the force is COP.
Right. But now we don't have a COP. What we have is an actor who is not qualified in my book. I mean, I'm not an expert on that. But I believe that the position of Commissioner of Police commands a certain amount of respect. And the person who holds that rank or that position, they don't have to be perfect, but they do have to be above reproach.
You must not have. Now, mind you, and you're right, Angie, because in the lower ranks, if there are disciplinary matters pending against you, those same people in the executive hold it against you and they don't promote you, you know, because you have complaints made against you that have not been heard at Audley Room. So who investigates against the members of the executive?
Apparently.
Shouldn't it be the Public Service Board? The people who are dealing with the big wigs, shouldn't they be the ones to say, well, Angie have two persons, those matters are pending. So should we not see that those matters are ventilated before we consider? Because if you end up putting that person in that seat or the chair, and then the investigation goes on, and that person is found wanting, you have a bigger problem. If it is good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Why are disciplinary matters held against lower rank officers and not against higher rank officers?
Well, I was hoping you could answer that question. I've been asking that question all day.
No, I've been asking it even when I was there, you know. Because I know certain complaints were made against certain people. And I see every year they're getting... Angie, you know, it is so disturbing. And the main reason why those individuals are getting promoted that way, political. Angie, there are persons who SLP would be in power. July of this year would be 5 years, right? Despite they're in the second term. July of this year would be 5 years. From July 2021 to July 2026 is a 5-year period.
Right.
There are persons who have moved 4 ranks.
In 5 years.
And you know, and I know, it is because they have not achieved any new certification in 4 years or 5 years. They are not better than they were in 2021.
Are they wearing different color shirts?
Same shirt. Their favorite shirt. Their favorite shirt. Color shirt. And they have moved 4 ranks. Whereas you have men who are 9 years and 10 years in one rank.
I have a question. What is the average time for promotions?
Average time, you mean?
Timeline. So, for example.
Well, the promotion policy that came around 2020 thereabout indicated that you must spend at least 3 years to qualify yourself in one rank, in each rank.
Right.
So after you get promoted to a rank, you within 3 years, after 3 years, you can move on to another rank. That would give you sufficient experience in the rank.
Okay, but you just said that people have moved up 4 ranks in 5 years.
Yeah, and some of them have even skipped rank.
How?
they move from the normal chain would be constable, which would be the lowest rank, corporal, sergeant, inspector, ASP, assistant superintendent, superintendent.
We have a caller on the line. One moment, please. Oops. Good afternoon, caller. You are on the air.
Good afternoon to Angie and good evening, Dr. Chico.
Hi, good afternoon.
Foster, you're on fire. I'm listening to you attentively. You're on fire today.
But
Where did you get all that fire, man?
I ain't get hot yet, Ian. Wait till I get hot, man.
I had
You
to
just can't warm me up?
I had to throw some water on him a while ago. He was disrupting the equipment. We can't have the equipment getting too hot in here. So I had to throw some water on him. So what's going
I don't
on?
think that is.
I tried.
Somebody have to say it, Ian.
I'll give you A for effort.
Thank you. Thank you.
Foster and Angie, I listened to you all about this whole police force, and it's very unfortunate that the police force right now is in total chaos. But I'll make a bold prediction. In fact, let me pose a question to either you or Foster. And the question is, why was Vern got appointed or brought in as acting commissioner of police? Why was he brought in?
As acting commissioner,
Let's let the police officer answer that question.
why was he brought in?
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, Mr. Gad was a police officer before. He went in, he was moving between the force and Bodily. He went overseas, he came back, and the position was available. He applied and he got it back. I don't believe that Mr. Gad at the time was the best choice. I haven't spent so much time out of the force.
Well, technically, when he was overseas, he was the head of a prison
Yeah, but he was out of St. Lucia.
in
He was
another
out.
jurisdiction.
The prison and the police force are two different things.
Okay.
Can I say something here? Can I
It
butt
was
in?
too much, and he should not have been brought back after such a long time. That's
For
my
sure.
opinion.
The reason why I asked you that question was very deliberate, you know. And I'll tell you where I'm going with this. Vern Gad was never qualified to be any commissioner. He was not even qualified to head the, and for my recognition, he was something deputy, something of admin, something to that sort. And that position too, he was not suitably qualified for. The reason why I ask you that question is because my answer to my question is simple, is this. Vern Gad was just a stopping, like a, what you call a stopgap measure. In other words, when the heat was on, because this Ronald Phillip appointment is in the making for over 3 years. It's not only today that Philip Pierre wanted to place Ronald Phillip as head of as commissioner of police. So what they did to cool down the temperature, just like how Angie tried to cool down your temperature in the studio, to cool down the temperature. The only political prostitute, and in my words, that would have sufficed at the time to be head of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force was Vern Gad. And so they placed Vern Gad there as a stopgap measure. The intention was never to bring Vern Gad to head any police force. When they look at the other members, the deputies, the only person that can suit the political narrative and to suit the political agenda was Vern Gad at the time, and they brought him in. That is what it is. Now that Vern Gad is out, I'm going to make a bold prediction to you and Angie. And watch the space, and remember that Vern Gad now is out, and he's not coming back. If you're looking for Vern Gad back in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, I would sadly say to you, you're a dreamer. He's not coming back. You know what they're going to do? They're going to appoint Ronald Phillip as Commissioner of Police full-fledged, and they're going to find some kind of appointment for Vungard in some ministry to make him some consultant in some ministry, just to quiet him down. And remember, he said that to you guys. This SLP government does not have a plan. And I say I would have taken a sabbatical, I said I would have been quiet, just watching what's happening. But like you always say, to borrow your phrase, Foster, St. Lucia has become a circus. I don't know who's the best actor in that circus, but sadly to say, St. Lucia is clown country. Because you cannot tell you have a police force. You're appointing making promotions. People do not even have not even sat exams. You cannot even write a basic report. You're promoting them over persons who are suitably qualified. What kind of stability do you expect to have in a department or in an organization?
And
like
at a time when we are up to our nose in crime, Ian.
But exactly. But let me tell you something, Foster. Do you know that the police force is investigating, Royal St. Lucia Police Force, as we speak, they are investigating crimes like they still in 1960? Do you know? That is, do you know when you look at programs up in the US, and every St. Lucia now have cable, so I could reach out to them and say, look here, when you have some spare time, look at forensic files, look at unsolved mysteries, and you see the amount of technology that is used in order to investigate crimes. It's out of the world, because we're in 2026 and technology is the in thing now, and that's what is used up here in the United States and other civilized countries to investigate a crime. St. Lucia is...
Excuse me, sir. I find you going a bit too far, calling St. Lucia an uncivilized country. I was okay. I let clown country pass. Okay.
Yeah,
I can't take you sticking in my craw here with your uncivilized. I mean, I know things are a little rough around here. We are a little rough around the edges. We have some criminals. You know, yeah, we have an escalated crime area in the Graham Louise building, according to Tommy Descat. But do you have to make it sound so bad?
Yes, St. Lucia is run right now like we're still wearing bell bottoms.
Jesus. I am sitting this one out. Foster, take over. That one hurt me. I'm hurt. I'm retiring. I am retiring from this conversation. Foster, take over.
I'm targeting the police force when it comes to investigation.
There's an...
I remember 3 years ago, I was watching Forensic Files, and there's this gentleman who murdered his wife and his kids. And he flew he ran away, and he was somewhere in France. And Foster, they have been looking for this guy over 30-something years. He was on the run, and the U.S. authorities could not get this guy. FBI, everybody tried. You know how they got this guy? And this is where the science comes in when it comes to investigation. They did a sculpture of this guy, so they hired a bone specialist, a sculptor, and he specialized in bone science. And they said, okay, this guy ran away when he was 30, so 30 years from now he should be 60. And they hired this sculptor who specialized in bone science.
Yes.
And the guy did a sculpture of this guy.
What he would look like at 60.
I was blown up. When they took that sculpture, that facial image, and they put it up on Unsolved Mysteries, guess what happened? Somebody, his neighbor, the gentleman who ran away, the fugitive, his neighbor in France happened to was watching the program Unsolved Mysteries, and saw the sculpture, the image, and alerted the U.S. authorities. And you know what happened? The exact image of the sculpture was the guy.
Yes.
Identical.
Yes.
And they was able to apprehend this guy. And over 30-something years, he committed that crime.
Yeah.
I'm saying this not to bore you and Angie, to indicate to you that we have not gone anywhere when it comes to policing, when it comes to governance, when it comes to civility. St. Lucia right now is like the age of bell bottom and afro. Sadly to see. And you know, we know what I'm not putting down my country, but I'm just being realistic here. And you know what when it's that obvious, you ever land on London International Airport, Oscar?
Yeah.
I've never landed there, like visiting, like you coming back to your country. And you see, you're so accustomed to international airports with 2 floors and departure lounge and all kind of train, and you can, when you get into from the aircraft, nobody sees you, and then you come into a country where you have to get off the aircraft. If it rains, you get wet. I mean, we have to get serious, Angie and Foster. We have a police force right now that does not even know where it's going or coming. Who is the next in line of commissioner? We don't even know. There's no succession plan. And I remember last year or year before, when Gil Francis was talking about when the United Workers' Party was in office, they started a process of a succession plan for the Royal Salvation Police Force. There were reports. Right now, those reports are sitting on somebody's desk, taking this. I mean, we have to get serious, you know. And I'm saying this, if said motions allow, and I have nothing personal against Ronald Phillip, I do not know the gentleman, I just know of him. If said motions, in particular women, allow Ronald Phillip to head our Royal Salvation Police Force, then Richard Frederick should be Prime Minister, you know.
You're going too far. You are going to... Caller, I am about to kick you off the broadcast because you are going too far. You already called St. Town country. You say we in the age of bell bottom and afro. Somebody on the live is talking about Flintstones. Now you come in and caller, you are on thin ice.
And he's getting a little timid here, and I let my kids have a good night.
Okay, Ian, good job.
No, listen. I get it, things rough. But really, Richard Frederick as Prime Minister? No, I can't allow that on my platform. I can't.
Kenyan Tenny said, don't ever be surprised what happens in politics. Now, Angie, I want to talk. Before I leave the force, I'm going to be on the force for the next. You doing overtime? Mm-hmm. All right. I want to say some more things about the police force.
But we have,
and that's true things.
Hold on, we have some people here on the Facebook platform, so let's let them speak. Yeah. Somebody says, so who promoted Ronald Phillip to deputy commissioner? Who made that big mistake? Can you answer that?
But it's a public service commission board that promotes persons within, from inspector upwards to commissioner. So it's a government system that promoting people of that rank. So you can see what is going on.
Somebody says, until we have an actual person worth being called a commissioner of police or worth holding the commissioner of police position, I vote we call the ones in the Commissioner of Police position COPD, corrupting our police department. You see? First, Ian started his thing and now it's just going downhill. Somebody says, just to throw away the evidence filed for Ronald, Vern threw the whole police force under the bus by saying that they do not know how to file a case. The individual asking who promoted Ronald Phillip is also asking what was his rank before Deputy Commissioner of Police.
Well, he moved three ranks from superintendent.
He moved from superintendent straight to Deputy Commissioner?
No, he moved ACP, then DCP, and it was in short time. Remember, we said there is at least a 3-year gap between ranks, and it has just been 5 years.
Wow. Oh, he did all of that in the past 5 years?
Yes.
Ay caramba. Foster, Vern was brought in to clear Ronald Phillip. Somebody says to do Phillip Pierre dirty work, and that was to throw the impacts report out the window. We'll talk. I see the steam coming out of your ears.
And the impacts investigations, the DPP made the last pronouncements on it. I'm surprised that if Mr. Gad can speak about the rape allegation, that he cannot speak about impacts. You should make a pronouncement on impacts, Mr. Gad. Because if it's under, if you have to get instructions from the DPP, I don't know why you should come and make pronouncement on a rape allegations. That's not your role. So say something about impacts too. Since the impacts investigate, there are police officers who have not been able to travel, who lost their visas.
We'll go back to that. We'll go back to that. Somebody says,
so the Miss Gardner is speaking about that?
Did you just say Miss God? Is that what you said?
I said Gardner is speaking about that.
Somebody said Vern was never commissioner. He was only given the uniform for when a public appearance is needed by the commissioner. Ronald was always the closet commissioner. Okay. Somebody says true caller. Somebody says Vern was placed there to destroy the evidence against Ronald. Somebody says Flintstones police force. I like
Bedrock, we in Bedrock.
It seems so. Somebody saying I agree with Ian 100%. Somebody says, Ian, come on, you're wrong for that. Finally, somebody who's on my side. 1960. Finally, somebody on my side. Because what? That hurt me, I had to retire hurt from that conversation. Am I the only one who has any love left for fair Helen Hair and what is being done to her? Somebody says we are a go-go country. Boji. Another one says, Ian, I agree with you. Somebody says you giving Vern Gad to investigate a rape case. He wouldn't know where to start. Yet he making pronouncement on lack of evidence in a rape case.
Now, Angie, there are many ex-police officers.
Hold on
the line there,
I'm seeing that.
So those are people that know what they're saying and they're asking pertinent questions there.
Somebody is saying, I just saw the news today that a 2-month-old baby is missing in St. Lucia, which is a size of 238 square miles. And how many more will go missing after we have had so many people missing in a small island? Did that happen in St. Lucia? I saw something to that effect.
Yes, whilst I was outside there, I couldn't even believe that. How can a 2-year-old baby go missing? 2-month-old baby go missing without... So where's the mother? But I think I read something that the baby was found because the mother was also missing, and apparently the baby. But why would you say the baby is missing and the mother is not missing? Angie, that makes sense. Where can the baby go?
To town? I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just...
But I read somewhere that the baby was found and actually the mother had the baby. They were both missing, in fact. But they were both found.
Okay, somebody says Police La Rosa. I don't know what that means. Somebody says, good evening. How many murders for 2025 were the figures manipulated?
I have something to say about that.
Okay, for 2025, I counted because, as you know, I report the news on 12 o'clock. Right here, we do a midday news update, and on a Friday, I do a recap. So, by my count, there were over 80 murders, but the official police count was in the 70s. But how I counted...
in the 70s, they said 70.
Yes.
So it was deliberately placed 70 for it not to say... If you say in the 70, if it reached 75, that means that's another record.
Yeah,
but it said 70.
Yes, but by my count...
Yes.
when I went back to check all the news reports that I had done, 82 murders.
And that's what it seemed to indicate.
So
So we broke the record again in
2025, but I don't know how maybe some of them were homicides as opposed to homicides. Maybe some of them were police shootings, because I was told that
A police
there is a
shooting
difference.
is a homicide.
Yeah, but I was told that there is a
The police may class it as police shooting for it not to have the same,
stigma.
yes, as a normal but a killing of a person by a person is a homicide. No, let me say the right word. A homicide.
Hold on there, Foster.
A homicide.
Right. So, according to the news reports that I did, or the news items that I reported on, my count, 82. Maybe I counted, maybe the police reported it on them twice, I don't know, but when the official count came out, it was 70. But I do recall reporting, because I went back and I checked it, and it was 82, so I don't know. Somebody says reports are the baby is found safe. Another says they get the baby already. Somebody says, yes, it happened in St. Lucia. Somebody says, I'm saying hi to Mr. Chico, and let's not do too much. And there is some idiot there on the live talking nonsense. And of course, we will.
Festus?
It's not Festus. It's a new one, John Edmond, and he does not seem to understand that we do not support foolishness on this page, so he is banned from the page, effective immediately. We have a caller on the line, Foster. Good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, sister.
The name is Angie, caller. The name is Angie.
Angie, sorry, Angie. Yes, I just wanted to make a little point on your program today. There's a guy that is talking about the police commissioner for St. Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
So, my question here is the people who accuse him of rape, why is it that they did not approach the lawyers instead of going to the court?
Why they didn't approach a lawyer?
Yeah, because I'm saying if that is a case I think that could have been taken up by a lawyer to represent them in court. So they don't have to go to the police system, because realizing that the police is already so corrupt, They try to protect them, and so why didn't they try to go to a lawyer instead?
I'll call her. That was an avenue they could have done. Yes, I agree. But I don't even know. I don't even know if I should attempt to answer that, because if the complainants are police officers, you don't think that they know all of that, caller?
I think they do, but I'm also thinking that a lawyer would have a different interest in the case, because I am not sure that the police officer is trying to do anything to resolve the matter. I think all what they have been trying to do is to find a way to send it to the carpet so that thing is just going to vanish. But I'm thinking, if you have a court system in St. Lucia, and if that court system is functioning properly, then I believe that those matters should have been handled by lawyers and have them to represent those officers in the court system.
Well, I cannot understand why the complainants in that matter have remained so quiet. And my instructions and my information is that the complainants are police officers, But I am baffled as to why that matter. I cannot see, if I have a genuine complaint as a police officer, I cannot see what in that Royal St. Lucia Police Force that can prevent an investigation from going on. If it's my case, that cannot happen.
I know you cannot see. Yeah, I know you cannot see, but I can see it because all what I'm seeing in the police force information is I'm seeing a lot of cover-ups, you know. Anything that's going to affect them, they always try to, you know, to pretend like, you know, they don't know how to run the case. So that is what I'm saying. I believe that the lawyers should have been, you know, the next approach, because they are already going through the police system, and the police is not doing anything in any serious way to help them. So I believe like, and even if I'm also thinking that it might also be a situation where maybe they might be thinking that they are not able to afford a lawyer, so they can say, but I'm thinking, even if some people want to see justice, they all should have come together and try to raise some funds to help them, those young women, to be able to fight the case in court, because it is clear to all of us that the police department they are not interested in resolving that issue. Because remember the former police commissioner who was there, the lady from in Monaco, we thought she was let go, just abruptly, because I think one of the reasons we were told was that she was trying to carry out that investigation.
Well, she didn't, caller, hold on, caller. She didn't try. She actually had.
She's the one who initiated.
She initiated the investigation by the Regional Security Service, and soon after she did that, she was relieved, or her contract was not renewed. I think, Foster, her contract was not renewed.
Her contract came to an end, and it was not, and she left.
So, Ms. Angie and Vera Foster, are we not able to see something that's looking out, in the system? Because it's a while now I've been hearing about those cases in the nation, and then every time, people try to ask questions as to what is happening. We just keep sending us in circles. We are not yet able to get proper answers from these people. And then this lady, I think she was going to try something, and I just heard that she was let go, and Eastern Mission keeps thinking that this Eastern Mission, they are serious about doing anything proper in our country. I'm telling you, I am not seeing that happening anytime soon. I'm very, very confident. One of the things that I've come to observe in Eastern Mission is that as long as we have those SLP people in power, nothing in the mission is going to be done the way it's supposed to be done. They will do everything to prevent things from happening the way it needs to happen in order for our country to be able to function properly. And I'm telling you, I don't understand why the people who are voting for these people, why it is that they keep doing that when every day they can see the evidence as to what is being said about it. Remember what was being said about the those CID passport that was being sold to all these people out there? We were not able to get passport information. And then after we realized the reason why we couldn't send passport is because they were issuing so many passports overseas that our people were not able to get a passport. And the reason why is because they were more interested in making money than actually providing passport for our solution people. And even when solutions realized what was happening, they still went back and voted for them. They also told them that those CID passports that they were selling, it was going to affect solution because of the people whom they were selling them to. And the solutions still they didn't pay any attention. What happened to them now? Can they come to America? Can they go to Europe? Can they go to Canada now? How easy it is for any solution now to be able to travel to any of those countries? These people in Solution, they think that anybody else is stupid like them. But I'm telling you, there are people who are not so stupid, and they can see things from afar, I have always been thinking that this CID program, the way they have been doing about doing that, I am just so surprised. millions of dollars. He wants to come and invest in solution. I would be just fine to give those people passports so they could come to solution whenever they want. But don't tell me you taking our passport and go and give it to people for $2,000 and then having now pretty soon we have more people who have solution passports than actual solution citizens themselves. And what do we get from that? We have not been able to see what one thing, the only thing I am happening with solution is I read during elections they were giving people money like crazy. And again,
well, caller, have you not heard the ad? I am the I in CIP. Well, not me, but them. I'm hoping. And they said that the STEP program. That's what the ad said. That the STEP program is being funded by the CIP, or it implied that.
I suspect the STEP program is a company. They have formed a company from STEP, and they have the contractors employed full time with their supporters doing STEP. That's what I see happening.
Jordan Pastor and Sister Angie, they always have September 10th when they came into office. He has always had that system going. They don't need any money from CIP to pay for steps. They have always had that going on. And also, our solution people, why is it that you don't understand your value? Step program, they always do that 2 weeks before Christmas, or Christmas or whatever thing. But it's always 2 weeks before the event. You mean to tell me, you don't understand that you are worth more than 2 weeks of work just before Christmas? Why are solutions taking for this stupid place all these years like that? I just don't get it. I don't understand it, my brothers and sisters, you know? This is so frustrating, man. Because when you register and you register yourself in solution, I think it is just so frustrating, man. So you have people who just don't know their race or their value, and they just accept those people just who they want everyday life. I don't understand it, you know?
Well, caller, I mean, I don't understand it either, and I've heard people say that they are voting for STEP so that they can take care of their children. I've heard people say, I heard an individual told me that he voted for SLP because, and I quote, this is a true story, he actually said this. Philip JPS said he loves us. He also said that Alan Shastney and Guy Joseph were going to take revenge on the people, and he could not allow that. And when I asked him to explain, he told me he had the clips on his phone. When I asked him to play them, he all of a sudden couldn't find them. But he did say that Philip JPA said he loves us, and that's why he voted for SLP. So if you're confused about STEP, just imagine how confused I am. It's very confusing.
But Sister Angie, so if STEP is helping them to take care of their children, so how do they take care of these children when STEP is not there? Because like I said, STEP is always 2 weeks before Christmas, right?
Yes. And they had it's 2 weeks before Christmas.
Hold on.
There's 2 weeks before Christmas, and
just to play safe, let's say about a month. And I remember it's always 2, but I'm just going to say about 1 month.
Actually, caller, it's no longer 2 weeks. I think it was 4 days the last time, but they paid them $100 a day. So, but it was 4 days.
But my sister, I think what I'm seeing as somebody who understands what happened in the mission, I believe all that people are thinking of is like, they don't care about anything else, but if they can get $100 a day for 2 weeks, that'll be fine, you know. And then the rest of the year, they don't care as to what happened and how things are for them. But I don't know, but I have a very big problem with that, because I'm thinking, and again, you see all these step program things, what the government solution really needs to do is to find really productive things for the solution the statement to make sure that it is compact. And when the grass starts to grow in, they use the machine that we have up here to cut the grass. The machine can cut miles and miles of it in 1 day, right? And stop that nonsense they do that.
Yeah.
Just tell people something really productive for them to do, and they'll be able to take care of themselves much better than the stupid that we do.
Yeah, but caller, if the people do that, I mean, who going to vote for them for step? I mean, you really, the people are engaged in protecting the victory, caller. What you're saying is, you're not protecting the victory. I don't think they will like your proposal very much. I can present your proposal to the powers that be, but they might. I have to warn you. When they don't like proposals, they end up in the bin and they end up at Deglu. So we can try. I mean, there was a proposal on crime prevention that ended up in Deglu because there were no new ideas on how to protect the victory. I see yours going the same way, I have to be honest, but we can try. What say you, Foster? What say you?
I agree. We need to try that and be.
So all I want to learn from you and Brother Foster is that our new solution is not going to make progress anytime soon in our system.
Caller, I'm so happy you understand the assignment, because look at what's going on, caller. Look at what's going on. We take one step forward, and then this government takes us 45 steps back, 47 if you look at the independence. I mean, a previous caller said that our police force is behaving as if it were the 60s. You think that is a coincidence? We have a government who's wholly and solely interested in protecting the victory. Nothing more, nothing less. The only thing they are willing to do is to protect their victory. And we, the right-thinking St. Lucians, you and I, we are frustrated. We have to be frustrated because we're realizing that all this government is doing is spinning top in mud to mama guy people.
I heard the other thing again. I mean, I am not a police officer. I had somebody who was a police officer. My last brother who was also a police officer as well. But here's something I don't understand. Mm-hmm. We have such a high level of crime activities in Malaysia right now. And then, in my ordinary way of thinking, if I was a police officer, what I would have done is to make sure that the roads in St. Lucia would have checkpoints all along the road at all hours of the day and the night. Because I have to believe a lot of the criminal activities that's happening in St. Lucia, they are traveling on the roads in St. Lucia, and they have whatever guns or equipment that they have it on these vehicles.
Now, caller, once again, caller. Did you hear the Prime Minister at the pre-cabinet press briefing? He said he don't want to hear about street lights. That's an excuse. That's what he said. You know, you come in and ask about the street lighting and yeah, the Prime Minister don't want to hear about that, caller. That's an excuse. You and I see that street lights are important in solving crimes, in preventing accidents, in just making the place safer, you know, in deterring criminal activity. The Prime Minister said that's an excuse. We're looking for excuses.
Okay. So I don't know. So if it is a problem for them to have police officers on the road having checkpoints to check all the vehicles traversing the roads of Tunisia, what exactly are the police officers doing then?
Well, Foster, help me out here. What exactly are they doing, Foster?
You're looking for your trouble, are you?
No, but I mean, the gentleman is asking me questions. Unfortunately, Foster, I'm a listen, I am not a police officer. My brother was a Mako Wolf at one time. That's what he said was his job, Mako Wolf. And now he's a Mako plane. My father was a tourism worker. No, wait, that's wrong. because the last tourism worker was what? Ecstasy. That's not what my father was doing. And my mother is a farmer. So I don't know. I cannot answer the question. The only qualified law enforcement official around here is you. So, Foster, help me out. Answer the gentleman. What was the question again, the caller?
What is the police
My
doing?
question is, if we cannot get police officers on the road to be checking vehicles at all hours of the night or the day, what exactly is the role of the police officer in the solution?
So I can tell you, I must give some credit to the police for the way they have been able to recover. Most of our homicides are gun-related. And for this year, we just had a gun amnesty. They brought in how many guns? 10 guns? I believe they brought in about 6 guns, and the amnesty recovered about 10 for searches when the police went in to search houses and so on. So that's about 16 guns they got. And thereafter, the ACP have warned that the grace period is done. So anybody found with a firearm now, an unlicensed firearm, will get what's coming to them. If you found a firearm by the roadside and you had more than a week to hop on your mule, hop on your horse, take a bus, and get into the nearest police station. If you cannot get there in a week, that period is over for you. And
I believe
I must say the gun, narcotics, and firearms unit have done its fair share of work, but there is a lot. I stay home and I hear guns. There isn't a night that I don't hear automatic gunfire downtown. And I live 5 minutes from the city.
And Brother Pastor, I'm also telling you, even if the police, even if they're doing a little bit of switching now, because I had a distribution just a few weeks ago, and then they have a checkpoint there up at the Badfield area, and the police is not really checking the vehicles the way that I think they need to do. They just come there, they check your, like, for example, the vehicle that I had a rental vehicle, and imagine the registration fee was not paid for that vehicle. Mm-hmm. And then I'm saying, but they never asked me to come up to that vehicle for them to take a good look inside of the vehicle, to check everything, make sure there's nothing hiding, like anywhere in the vehicle. And I'm saying, to me, if they're not doing that, how are they going to be able to really find the weapons? Because the guys who have the weapons, they don't have them on the seat where you could see very easily. They will probably have the weapons. Maybe take a chunk of the vehicle or under the seat or under the wheel or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like,
the police would know. The police would know if you have a weapon, sir. You didn't have, so they didn't search you. But if you had, they would know.
How?
Okay.
How, Foster?
Police have the ways and means.
Do we have?
They know how to.
Do we have psychic police officers? Can they smell it like the canine unit?
It goes in the training. The police know. The probable cause, you will give the probable cause to search you. If the police stop you and interview you and let you go, there's a good chance that you don't have a firearm. So, but if you have one you get away, you can go straight to the church.
Hold on, Foster.
And become a priest.
Do we have Spider-Man? Do their spider senses tingle? How do they know?
The job, it comes in a job and G, you would know. I know those things.
Officer, I don't want to petition, but I need to do. But let me tell you, based on what we do with the website, I know that the police I don't want to give out all the secrets, but at least what you said that it makes me feel a little better now that maybe they have ways of knowing if somebody has a gun on the vehicle or weapons. So that gives me a little bit of a, a little bit of a
A
confidence
little
now.
bit of hope.
Because again, I'm saying, I don't think you want to disclose, the secrets, so you want to keep that out there. But
I'm just trying to pull my legs. Thank you, sir. Angie trying to pull my legs. Angie's a dining room, a living room detective,
A lawyer,
a TV
a
detective.
TV attorney. Misrepresent me.
Anyway, so thanks for taking my call. I will talk to you guys some other time, and stay safe out there, okay?
Thank
All
you
right,
very
sir,
much.
thank you.
Foster, I'm not done, you know. Do we have Clark Kent on our police force, and he can just spy, you know,
We have good police
X-ray
officers.
vision
We
and
have-
see the car is clean? And do we have Spider-Man where the spider senses tingle if there's a? We have all of that.
We have Angie. Angie, let me tell you something. I've worked with some police officers at the drug unit.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. If there is drugs somewhere, they get in it. You can come with all your sweet talk, and you can come with all your... Those guys are good. All right?
Okay.
Those guys have nose just like the dogs have nose.
Because
Without dog, we'll get the drugs.
the reason why I'm asking, because I
Huh?
remember you telling me a story here on Full Disclosure where you searched for 2 hours for a firearm, and then the dog came and found the firearm in a few
In
minutes.
5 minutes. Less than
Yeah,
5
and you were
minutes.
searching for 2 hours. So, I mean,
It happens. There are some guys who are good. Angie, but going back on some points that some callers raised there about, total figures for 2025 in St. Lucia case. We always pick on Jamaica and Trinidad with their homicides and so on. One, I can recall when Mr. Burton and them came here, Commissioner Burton. You know what they left us with? And we have lost it again? Recording. Keeping proper records. Angie, you know how difficult it is to trace back. Somebody would come to the station, come to you, and they would tell you they came to the station 5 months ago to report something. And you know sometimes how difficult it is to get that report because our system of reporting is letting us down. We are letting ourselves down. And when you look at Jamaica, Trinidad, everybody says those places are a failed state, a lot of crime. Jamaica, you can go and find out, just Google Jamaica crime. And it's telling you everything. The number of females killed, the number of children under 16 killed for the year. Everything, they detail their crime. Mr. Broughton and the English pen came down here with a system. You cannot investigate without proper records, Angie. And today we have gone back in the same mess that we were before the Englishman came. To that, if you Google it, I just Google it, Jamaica has 114 homicides as of March 14th. And I'm sure between March 14th and today, 30th, that's 2 weeks, they would have had more. But as of March, Jamaica has 15 times more people than St. Lucia. 15. So you know what that means? Every homicide Jamaica has, that's 15. So if they have 114, you know how much? We have 20, what's our number? 20, 21?
we should be at 21.
Multiply that by 15 and see who has more homicides per capita.
Let me see that. I'm up for the challenge, you know, Foster. Don't think you will come here on.
If it's 20, just play we have 20. Our last count was 20.
Well, we have a homicide for yesterday, so
Yeah.
that
So
has to be
21.
21.
and multiply it by 15 and see how many.
Ooh.
You see?
Yeah,
So who has more?
we do. Per capita.
Exactly.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Exactly. Now Jamaica has the records, they're working on it, and Jamaica population, they tell you that the homicides are down from last year and the last 2 years. But it's still high.
Yeah.
It's very high.
Per,
in
well,
per-
per
per
capita, it's
capita.
not that high, but
Right.
it's still high.
But they keep their records and they keep their records. Why are our records not up to date on G? Is it a deliberate thing? Why is our 2025 statistics not accurate? And people are telling you that there's an ex-police officer who calls and he keeps ties. The man is blind. And he can give you the name. So obviously, I don't know how he's recording it. And if he's recording it, how he's can say the names, how he can recall the names. But he will give you from homicide number 1 to homicide number 80.
And he gives you.
So how is wrong? And it's not wrong?
He gives you the name of the individual and where they
And
were found.
where did it happen? Yes.
And if it was a body that was found, if it was a shooting,
Right.
if it was a stabbing, he keeps accurate records.
And he's blind. So it's not like he have it written and he's reading it. So the man, you can see the man. So why are people who are not blind, they're not deaf,
You're not
they're
dumb.
not mute?
I
They
mean,
can't keep
mute.
records?
Well,
They cannot keep the records? Or is it deliberate? Is it deliberate?
maybe they need to ask Caribbean Galaxy if they can give the information.
Why are the 2026 records in St. Lucia not up to date?
2025. Oh, you mean
No,
2026?
this year. Why is it not up to date? And what is the police doing? Why are they not tallying the homicides accurate? We just at 2021. You're already free down the road, free shot.
Somebody
And
says,
everybody knows people keeping tabs on that. Why are you not keeping your records and you're the police department? Why?
somebody is saying in response to other numbers being tampered with, somebody says, we both know that's what happened. Another one says, even this year, the so-called official murder count is off by 3. This repeat habit is no mistake, and it is
That cannot be
intentional.
that cannot be a mistake.
Somebody says St. Lucia has laws and rules for one set of people based on which party has formed the administration. Somebody says, now we are Saint-Glo, let us start buying pipe so we can tap into the Dominican water pipe and make sure that this water doesn't fall all weekend. Sometimes somebody says, Foster, what's your take on the tight pants minister who believes that there are people in St. Lucia who really celebrate crime?
People don't. I mean, when I heard Mr. Kazimi say that, I mean, what's wrong with? This is a young man. What's wrong with him?
I believe it's
People
the pants.
celebrating crime.
I think the
I
pants.
think if your boxer's too tight, you're never going to change it.
I think the pants are cutting off his circulation in critical areas.
You know, people celebrating crime.
How
But
can you-
people are afraid to go out. People are afraid, Angie. Just this weekend there, that gone there. I was in the city. Let me tell you, and that's something I've been practicing for a while now. I try my best not to go to the gas stations, their closing time, not to go to the ATMs at night. You know why? I try to think of safety measures for myself right now. Even there are some streets in Castro that I don't even drive on at night. Now I can take care of myself. I believe I can take care of myself adequately enough.
But like my mother says,
But-
Juma lepan pogad.
Exactly. So people celebrating crime. People are afraid. People are afraid. The young guys in Masha tell me they're afraid of Masha. They told us that during the election campaign. They're afraid of Masha. Those are boys who are born in Masha. They're afraid. People celebrating that. You think just so people will say that?
Now, you spoke about this weekend, but...
Kelson, you're not afraid of Grosile?
Speaking of
You're not afraid to drive on our highway?
Speaking
if you
of
say
this,
you're not afraid to drive, you're lying.
Two things. Do you recall?
Talking foolishness.
Do you recall the double homicide that happened in Bexon?
Yes.
Are you aware that this happened on the main highway?
Yes.
On the main highway.
Main road, and there are endless people around. There are many witnesses around.
Yeah.
Well, not witnesses, but there were persons around. It didn't happen at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
No, it happened broad daylight.
Yeah.
Broad daylight. Secondly, I had a Friday night. I had a very strange experience. So my daughter had gone out with a bunch of her friends to Grosile Friday night. It was the first time. So that they came as a group and they went there and whatever. And from midnight, I was messaging her and she said, "I'm tired, so we're coming home now." But 4 o'clock in the morning, she had not been home, and I'm messaging to find out what's going on, and she keeps saying, "Oh, we're on the way, we're on the way, we're on the way." Now, she has this habit. It's something that my brother installed in her because, like I told you, my brother used to be a Mako off before. Now he Mako in plane. And whenever she leaves the house, if she's going out, she always sends her live location to either myself or him or both of us. And I'm seeing that on the live location, they're going around in circles. I'm getting frustrated. I say, "But what are y'all doing?" Only to find out that the kids were being followed. They were being followed by another car that had pinned them, and they couldn't move. The car pinned them, and the guy was trying to get out, and the persons in the other vehicle, they came out and they were walking towards them. So the guy thought quickly, put the car in reverse, and drove away. And then that other car, the people jumped back in the car and they started following them. So they were trying to lose this vehicle, for hours, scared out of their minds, until the driver, whose father is a police officer, called his father and told the father what was going on. And I guess the father was giving him instructions, and I think his brother came out to meet them on the road and stuff. And when my daughter was close to home, she called me and said, "Come out on the road. We come and stand outside and see if there's any vehicle following us." And at that point, I mean, I am
and you say around
freaking
that
out.
time it's already in the wee hours of the
It's
morning.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Hey,
So, I mean, I come
that's
outside.
blackout time, Blackout.
I come outside. I'm standing in the balcony and I'm looking out, and the car passes. They go up the road, and then she says, "Are we being followed?" I said, "No." So they turned around and they came back because they didn't want to stop by the house. And there are 5 young adults in the vehicle, and all of them, you could see on their faces, they are petrified.
Angie, it's not a joke,
No, I'm telling you, it's not to say that it's a bunch of girls in the car. There are girls and boys, and the boys were looking more afraid, more scared than the girls. And one is on the phone saying, "Bro, if you don't come out, make sure you're not being followed. Meet me at such and such a place, but I'm not going to come out now because where I am, I think I've lost them. I'm going to wait." And he parked a little lower down from the house, and they were on the phone talking. And these are young adults in the early 20s, and you could see on their faces they are petrified. And I'm saying, "Did y'all call the police?" They said they called the police, but the police didn't respond. The police didn't come out. And you could see that the kids were very afraid. You understand?
Angie, it's not a joke. It's not easy. I tell you, I
And-
am afraid
Yeah.
parents have to be know your children's friends
Yeah.
and know. You know, I like when my children ask to go out.
You do?
I take them out.
Yeah. And you bring
And
them
if I
back.
can wait for them, how are you coming back home?
Yeah.
I always ask them, how are you coming back home? A friend picking you up, are they dropping you back home? Because you cannot sleep on G.
No.
You
you
cannot
can't.
fall asleep when these children are out because you want to make sure that they are safe. Now, I rather drop you somewhere if you're at the cinema and I'm parked outside the cinema.
And I'm waiting. Yeah.
Because even at those locations, things have happened.
Now, that's the thing. And then another situation again. My daughter is on the phone with a friend during last week. And she's saying to the person, I've been calling you all week. What happened? I can't find. And I'm hearing, they rob you again? So are you going to change your shift at work or whatever? Only to find out that this person has been robbed twice just coming from work. When people say how unsafe St. Lucia is, or how unsafe the country is becoming, I mean, I know I laugh about, the police, and I say, boy, I hate people saying St. Lucia is not a real place. I hate people saying St. Lucia is clown country and all of that. But the reality of the situation is vastly different. You understand?
Angie, I know persons who have left the hotel industry because they were robbed twice and 3 times. They just left the job,
Yeah, but
They say they're not working night for nobody.
Exactly. I know a person who was walking around the Serenity Park area with his girlfriend. Just walking. The two of them walking and talking. And I think the girlfriend was maybe 2 steps behind him. By the time he stopped and turned around, he's seeing that a few guys, about 5 guys, have already surrounded her, grabbed her bag. One is, and then one of them pulled out a knife and is telling him, give me everything you have in your pockets. And thankfully, a off-duty police officer was seated in a car by the road, just maybe waiting for someone. And that police officer came out and brandished his firearm and was able to arrest one of the one with the knife. The others ran away. And the guy was able to recover his possessions.
Yeah.
And that happened
So
just...
the minister is saying that people are gloating.
How are we
He says
gloating?
that and Philip Pierre repeats the same.
No, I
That's
think
a nonsense.
Philip Pierre is saying it and then the minister is repeating it.
Yes. People
These
gloating. People are concerned. I wonder if Philip Pierre is not in the gunshots that I'm hearing every night,
didn't
Unless
he-
he's not sleeping in the house at where his house is.
Listen, didn't Philip Pierre say
He
last
has
week?
policemen, soldiers in his yard so he can sleep well. So what's about me?
Didn't Philip Pierre say last week that he hears the plight of the people because he cannot escape up north, and he lives where the real St. Lucians live? Didn't he say that on the pre-cabinet press briefing last week? I have the clip. I can play it.
Philip Pierre doesn't even know where he lives. If Philip Pierre is hearing the gunshots that I'm hearing, he will not talk the foolishness that he talks in pre-cabinet meetings.
He hears the gunshots, Foster.
He doesn't
hear
hear.
them. He hears them, but he knows he is safe because before they get to him, they have to
They have
get
to pass through 6 police officers.
his security detail. Why you think they promoted? You remember you told me that they promoted a police officer and he's on his detail, the same one. That,
Yes.
So he's promoting people.
By
to,
now, I think he must be on his last day. Probably All Fool's Day is his last week. So we may have a new commissioner
On All Fools Day.
All Fools Day. That's in 2 days' time.
But who will be the fools? Will it be us or will it be
Well, I know.
the
I
commissioner?
don't know what is with All Fools Day. Why do they end people contracts or renew their contracts on All Fools Day? Because Mr. Moncherry, I remember, was contracted on All Fools Day. He made a joke out of it today. But Angie, before we close, let me just pour some more salt on the spoiling police officers. You know, when you kill a swine, I don't know if you like pork.
Oh, I do.
But
In fact,
I like my salt pork. So
in
before
fact,
it's spoiled.
I am so proud that I attended church. I was so happy one day. We had a function at church, and the priest said, I will never forget that. Father Burns said that people say that you shouldn't eat pork because it's unclean, but he would like to inform them that the swine that were unclean, all of them fell off the cliff. So those that remain are the clean ones. And he said, if he can find a rope they tie the cow with, he'll make tea. And I was so happy he said that, because
the hatred and the envy and the bad blood people have inside of them, that's what's unclean. The pigs are unclean.
let me tell you.
What comes out of you, that's unclean, not what that goes inside of you. But when I started the program, Angie, I spoke about the promotion process and so on. And I hold in Mr. Gad, Mr. Philip, Mr. Shalry, I hold in you all responsible for the upkeep of that police force. That's the only force we have. Stop creating division and political distress in the force. You all are creating a problem between people that you all assume to be supporting UWP and persons that you all know that are supporting SLP. You all are promoting only the SLPs. And you all know they are not capable. Now I'm saying that to live direct in the microphone for you all to hear it. Somebody will tell you all that I said it. And you all know that I can prove, I have the names. I can prove how I know they're supporting SLP, what they have done in the last campaign, what they have done in previous campaigns. All right? You're rewarding them now. That election is 3 months gone. Promote the right people. I spoke about Jan Gustav. You cannot have a situation where the only complaint against the man was brought on by Richard Frederick after years of slandering the man on his show. The man had made reports. I had cause to make a report along with Jan Gustav against Richard Frederick. By the time we came out of Moncherry, Mr. Moncherry sent us to the CID to make the report. By the time we left CID,
Richard already
the
knew
information was already passed on to him.
the files. He received the files.
Yes, the files were already moved. No complaints have been investigated against Richard Frederick. But you holding a frivolous, nonsensical matter against the man for 9 years and you're not promoting him. And you're promoting all other jokers to inspector over the man. I am advising the officers. If you are a corporal and you applied for sergeant and you did not get it, and you see persons that you're working, you better qualified than, and you're working more, you have a better person than him, challenge the commissioner of police. I had cause to do that, Angie. Because I acted sergeant, the rank of sergeant, for more than 10 years.
Wow.
And persons were passing me. Persons who, when I joined the force, they were at school. They got sergeant before me, you know. until I decided to challenge that. And in 2 months, I got promoted. The commissioner never wrote me back because the commissioner at the time felt that no police officer can force him to promote them. He never wrote me back, but he promoted me because I was seriously going to take him before the court for him to tell the judge, if you can give me to act sergeant, from the time I became corporal, I'm acting sergeant. And I have 10 years doing the work of a sergeant. You're taking a man that ain't even applied for sergeant. He's a corporal. He didn't even apply. He didn't even want to be a sergeant because he didn't apply. And you're making him a sergeant before me? I would have taken the commissioner to task for that.
What was your rank when you retired?
Inspector.
Okay.
There are persons, Jan Gustav and myself got promoted the same time, 40th of June, 2017. The man is still a sergeant. And you have all kind of Mickey Mouse fellas who just, guys who were just coming to the force in 2017. They will be 9 years service. They're already sergeant with the man. How that making sense, Angie? The man is 42 years service. How can you justify that? How can the commissioner justify that?
We do have a
commissioner.
I don't know if you noticed, but we do have a commissioner. We have an actor acting.
But it's the actor that's doing that. The actor that's doing that, you know. Because remember, I told you my instructions are that Mr. Gad's promotion was challenged. So they say, wait till he go just now, don't worry with him. And then another, that's my instructions.
And you
so you have
very well
Peter
instructed.
and Paul submitting promotion lists and you're just doing a magie with promotions in the police force. And you expect that force to go anywhere? You expect better of that police force? Now you know who I blame in. You're police officers, you're retired police officers. I blame in y'all, you know. I cannot be the only one saying that. Y'all know that. Why some of y'all were victims of it. Why you're letting me alone say that? So they'll say is my friends I want to promote. You know? Why you're not coming and support? Write something on the WhatsApp too. You're not just at your homes quiet. Why you're not saying it? Why are you not protesting? The force we create, that's what that will serve us, you know.
That is true. That is
If
true.
you see we continue to let things deteriorate in that police force, very soon there will not be no... When you call 911, nobody ain't coming, you know. 999. Nobody will come.
I was about to ask you who will answer at 911. I mean, that's an international call. I mean, none of us have credit for that. But Foster, honestly, the questions I want to ask, and I was asking that question on my show, aren't there other police officers who are better qualified to act as COP than Ronald Phillip? I mean, Luke De Freitas, I was saying, just got a Medal of Honor. And
I suspect that's all you'll get. What are you doing what you doing in the medal? You melting it and you selling it, you pawning it. The medal is what? Gold.
I don't know. There's gold, there's silver, there's bronze. I don't know.
I took part in my son's athletics. I have endless gold medals for me. Angie.
Medal of Honor.
Oh, medal.
From the king.
Angie, that's a joke.
I saw a guy that I've known forever, Jonathan Chico. He got a medal too. I've known this boy. Well, I shouldn't say this boy, but I've known he went to school with my brother. They went to Shock, I think, together, and he was a cadet back then. I was still going to primary school.
Yeah, Jonathan. He's my cousin.
I thought so. It's like every investiture ceremony, there's a Chico in there somewhere. I mean,
Boy, I'm sure they're disgusted by that. You know.
there's always a Chico.
I spoke earlier. There are Chicos everywhere.
Yeah.
All around the world have Chicos.
Yeah.
And that's what the haunting Philippine them fellas, because they can't stand that. Especially the frog face man. But let me tell you, Angie, I spoke earlier in the show, and I said I started the show that way. When I said that I'm the fifth. I'm the fifth member of my family to retire from the government service. And we have all given more than 40 years service. So you're looking at 150 years service.
Are you talking about your
Dedicated
immediate
service.
Are you talking about your immediate
Siblings.
family? Siblings,
Immediate.
Right, because
I'm
there
not
are all-
talking about cousins. We have about 10,000 Chicos in St. Lucia, you know. Angie. I'm not talking about my extended family. I'm talking about my immediate in-house people. So I cannot sit down and listen to a promotion being made. Flintstones and
Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck doing promotions and picking the worst people. You know? Casa build capacity in the police force. Stop doing magie. Stop making El Guapo and those foolish ministers. You know, have some kind of them fellas deciding who going to be in our police force, leading our force. Fellas who have been so many questions are hanging around their head. Where are we going? What are we doing? You have men that you want to send to sit down in the court and represent us as prosecutors because they are well read, they know the law, they know how to interpret the law. You're not promoting those men. You're promoting a bunch of jokers. Yes, sir, boys who, and you still want the fellas you're not promoting to work hard? Mr. God, you ain't bound to, I know you'll call me a fool like Richard called me a fool. Because you're in power now, I tell you all the force that you'll leave and the force that you'll make, that will be the force that will serve you all. Do the right thing. Stop playing politics with the people of St. Lucia. Everybody see what you all are doing. And I await All Fool's Day. What day is that? 2 days ago. Wednesday. I wait Wednesday to see what you all will do on All Fool's Day in regard to the police force. I will be on your case. You'll have to stop your nonsense.
My problem is that, in my view, and I am just a layman, I am simply a citizen of St. Louis. But I cannot stomach Ronald Phillip wearing that uniform. Foster, I was looking at the RSS function, and I saw the head of the Caribbean, is it the Caribbean contingent of police welfare associations?
Yeah.
A man who came out, I interviewed him, and made a statement against those allegations hanging over, saying
Is that a recent statement?
No, that happened, I think, in 2022, 2023.
Oh, okay.
There was a conference, a meeting of the Caribbean
commissioners.
No, not commissioners. The police welfare associations around
Oh,
the
yes,
Caribbean.
yes.
They held that meeting at Bellevue, and one of the things that they spoke out against is those allegations hanging that are not being ventilated in the courts.
That was not even given a chance. Huh?
No, it wasn't.
You know?
In my view, Foster, and correct me if I'm wrong here, the Office of Commissioner of Police is one that should be held by a person who is above reproach. If Ronald Phillip wanted to be considered for the post that he holds now, Deputy Commissioner of Police, he should have ensured that he got his day in court to prove his innocence. You understand?
Well, he should have subjected himself to.
Yes.
All the authorities should have put the matter before the appropriate tribunal for it to be determined. Not do it in-house, like some kind of arrangement, some kind of washma. It appears to be like some kind of washma thing that going on there.
That's how
Angie, I would not be so lucky if that was me. I don't know. I'm not a lucky fella. I know if it is those allegations were made against me, I'm down the road already.
Down the road, Foster. Foster, you remember they had a guillotine in the square? They bring it back just for you, you know, Foster. I think I'm lucky. I found $5 while I was walking down the road this morning.
That's your first time you find money.
No, that's the second time. That's the second time. I remember I found $5 when I was going to primary school by the Anglican cemetery one time. Okay, and that's the second time I got $5. So I'm lucky. But I'm saying to myself, if the powers that be, Ronald Phillip should understand that he's not doing himself any favors by attempting to brush this thing under the rug. This will forever hang around your legs, be tied around your legs like an anchor, Mr. Phillip. That cloud of wow, how should I?
But Angie, you keep saying him, but it's not him.
No, but
it's not him.
Listen, he should have insisted, Foster. He should have insisted that he be given the opportunity to clear his name, to prove his innocence. He should have insisted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Angie, you know who they crucified for that? You know the Police Welfare Association have been put as quiet as lambs, you know. Common law was put over fire for
raked over the coals. But kudos to Mr. Law, he never backed down.
And all the man was doing, all he did was to ask a question of the commissioner. Four of my members have some concerns about a complaint that they made that seems not to be growing at all. That's all the man said. Well, and the SLP people were on the man's case, so common law. That's same Richard Frederick.
He was accused of having a personal vendetta.
Yes, that same Richard Frederick again complaints were made by common law against Richard Frederick. Not one was investigated.
Well,
but Richard Frederick has political matters against police officers that preventing them from getting promoted. You don't see we are sick set of people.
What's this wee business, Foster? I don't understand. I'm not involved in the wee, Foster. I mean, they are a sick set of people, like I understand that. But my position is this. These allegations that have been leveled at Mr. Phillip for so long, they disqualify him even from the rank of Deputy Commissioner of Police.
Well, that's up to the Public Service Commission and the board of clowns that they have there. They have to be, before they make an appointment, it is their duty. In other jurisdictions, they hold boards responsible for the decisions they make, There was a case recently, I believe either in Antigua or in Jamaica. there was a board that approved some kind of project. And when they found out that when things went, when the things went haywire, there was a commission of inquiry, and that matter went to the court. You know what they did? The judge did. The members of the board had to pay that money back, you know.
Wow.
It was split equally amongst the members, and they had to pay that money back to the state, you know.
Do you think that could happen here?
Never. The kind of collusion and thing we have going on here, Angie, that cannot happen here. Because everybody is greasing somebody's hand in St. Lucia. It's everybody walking about with a bucket of grease.
I shudder to find out. I shudder to ask what type of grease.
Before I say anything, I do have to say on the radio.
Let me. I think it's our time.
I think our time is.
I think our time is up. Oh, Lord. Guys, please forgive Foster today. I don't know what is wrong with him. I don't know what's going on. But these happenings seem to be having a very
debilitating.
Yes. A very debilitating effect on our resident inspector of police, and I think maybe he needs a break, guys. I think he's
so. Drink some water.
Yeah. He does. He does need to drink some water and try to. Wow. Somebody's telling me to use my $5 to block a hole. I don't know. Only the Prime Minister has that capacity. I really cannot. I cannot do that. But we have some people here. Somebody's asking Mr. Foster. He say he can't sleep. That's the Prime Minister when you were talking about
him awake.
A lot of things keep him awake. I thought it was climate change, but now
I think he should check under his bed to see if Tyson not.
Somebody says a bunch of jokers. Another says, Angie, do you have any information on the tourist women who were robbed by this guy who got away with his car when another gentleman stepped in? I don't think those tourist women were robbed. As far as I can tell from perusing the video, they were knocking the life out of it. This guy was being beaten up.
They were caught, you know.
He was caught?
That's the two guys who came from the car trying to snatch the bag.
One guy came from the car.
Yes.
The other guy saw what was happening and stopped
came to help. Yes.
To help, but the guy ended up moving up. But
they caught those guys.
Okay, because the lady, one of the ladies had him in a headlock. Let me tell you,
he wasn't giving up that bag, boy. She probably had some brownies, some ripe bananas, something in that bag.
Let me tell you, you don't mess with ladies and their ripe bananas. Somebody said God is going back to his home. Another says if it was Shasney, they would be all over the media. Somebody says you are speaking the truth, Foster. I think the person says God is going home to make tea. Don't know what kind of tea. Maybe some Loagette. We don't know. Loagette is the big thing nowadays. Somebody says you're so right on what you said. Saturday of last weekend, the police traffic department was closed. Why? Isn't the police a 24-hour service?
Yeah, well, if the guys are out. On evenings, you have the investigators. If they're out on a scene, they would not be at the office.
Right.
It would be closed. But
Okay, somebody says, Angie and Mr. Foster, my aunt will be 99 on the 3rd of April, which is Good Friday.
Wow.
Happy birthday to your aunt.
Wow. That's a good score.
Yeah,
man.
that's
99?
Great. 99. That means she saw a lot of crap and
oh, yeah, man.
is seeing way too much crap now.
Yeah.
I hope you keep her away from the news. I don't think...
Especially when Philip Pierre is on speaking.
Yeah, I don't
keep
think...
her far from the TV.
I don't think
the TV.
I don't think her heart will be able to take it. Somebody says, tell PJP our problems with reckless drivers on the road is due to the sale of fake driver's licenses under his government. Another person says, the bank robber sold the driver's licenses. We have multitasking bank robbers now. And first they're robbing banks, now they are...
Boy, our listeners,
now they are...
I'm trying to figure out who's the bank robber.
Apparently, our criminals multitask, Foster. They're not just into one stream of criminal income. They sell fake licenses and rob banks all at the same time. It's hardworking criminals in St. Lucia. Somebody says big mouth, but I don't know who they're calling big mouth. They might be talking to me. I don't know. My mouth, I do have a big mouth. Somebody says, happy birthday to your aunt in advance. May she see many more years to come. Another person says, shouldn't the International Board for Policing step in? What's happening in our police department? What's your take on that? Is there an international or regional body that...
You mentioned the police welfare organizations around the Caribbean.
Yeah, the Caribbean, it's CC.
I recall that meeting.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, feel
the Caribbean Confederate of Police Welfare Associations. Yes. I knew I would remember.
I felt sorry for common law, and I used to advise common law, leave the people thing alone. Why you taking up job of president of the Welfare Association? The man retired as a constable.
Constable?
Yes.
Isn't that the first?
Yes.
Isn't he like
40 something years?
As a constable?
Yes. But if they deem you political, and especially this government, you will not get promoted.
So he was never promoted, not once?
I think he probably acted once or twice.
Now, you know there's another individual in that same...
You remember Richard Frederick was attacking Cameron, telling him if he ever did a case, how he never did a case, and so on. Richard, there are others that didn't do a case, but they hired than Cameron. In fact, they're the ones promoting people. You joker.
You know who else is in that same boat? Shane Felix in the fire service.
Is he retired?
I don't know.
I think he is, you know.
I don't know, but I remember.
I saw him just, what is it, today? I saw him and I said, boy, I wonder, I think he retired, you know.
I see all his beard white. Maybe he's retired, I don't know.
Yeah, because he's...
But he has never, not once, been promoted.
And you remember how fiery this man was, eh?
Oh. I mean, this whole... commission of inquiry into the sexual misconduct of
in the fire service.
In the fire service.
Boy, Angie, you just today, I spoke about that. We are in a discussion we had.
Yeah, and Shane Felix.
He was firing in all cylinders.
Lord, he was on fire. In
fact, I think he fired. Probably the bullets ricocheted and hit him.
So you're saying that he's been shot by friendly fire?
Yeah.
But Shane Felix, I mean, I remember somebody. I mean, I vaguely remember the actual case and the commission of inquiry and all of that. But I remember my editor at the time explaining to me, because I had been interviewing Cameron Law and following these allegations through the thing, and she was telling me how she remembered the similarities between Cameron Law and Shane Felix, and how when this came out in the commission of inquiry, Shane Felix looked like Superman, and the officer in question, the perpetrator, he he
was
came out
asked to
looking-
retire, right?
Yeah. And I think he was,
But Angie, we have to talk about those.
and I
things,
think he
you
was
know.
at the head of the fire service.
Right. The man was the chief fire
Yeah.
officer.
Are they trying
We
to
have
recreate?
to try to speak about, bring up those things, you know.
Are they attempting to recreate this situation in the in the RSLPF?
But that's a mirror image.
Yes, yeah, but that's
Exact-
why. That is
exact
why.
thing.
That is why at the time my editor.
And you know, it's the same government.
Yeah.
You know, it happened to be the same government.
Same
that
government.
perpetuated that.
Same government. Same sexual misconduct on fellow
May-
service
yeah.
women. You know, same. I mean, except the only difference was this guy was the chief fire officer, but they're trying to slide Ronald Phillip under the door, under the table, hoping that we don't see, but we see you. I mean, I half blind half the time, but I have glasses. I can see you, you know. And it almost feels like a mirror image.
That's the mirror. That's the mirror.
Yeah. And people like Shane Felix and Cameron Law, they're being raked over the coals. They're being vilified. They're being tarred and feathered and drawn and quartered by the masses simply for standing up for what's right and refusing to give up.
Angie, you know, some people have a lot of tolerance, and they just will let things. I operate in so. I cannot operate so.
Me, let me tell you, my older brother. There was a situation where somebody said to my older brother, "You see, I don't want to deal with you. I would much rather deal with your sister." And my brother laughed all the way home. And he said to my mom, "This individual says that they would rather deal with her instead of me, but they have no idea. This girl burning a whole village to kill one ant. That's the last person you want to mess with." And I think certain individuals, because throughout this, and I've said that I'm not going to talk about this, but throughout that whole incident with the minister, persons, because I was quiet, I guess, because I didn't say anything, chose to attack me on social media, thinking that because I yellow, I'm butter. And somebody said to me, when I was saying to them, "This is what I'm going through. I'm being attacked on social media," and the person said to me, "But I see the answers you give them. You know, you are easy." I do not negotiate with terrorists, and I'm serious. I tell people there are certain individuals. Two of them are members of my family, and one of them is Alan Shastney. These three individuals in my life, God finished working on them already. Because these individuals can take and take and take and keep me. God finished working on them already. But you see me, the construction site still, listen, the scaffolding still up, the mixer is mixing, the material on the floor, and all the workers, God and finish works done up deposing. I am still being worked on. So I couldn't be a Shane Felix or a Cameron Law.
I can't do it. Angie.
I can't.
I mean, I have. You see, my brother.
It's not that I would give up, you know. It's not that I would give up. I wouldn't give up. Don't get me wrong. The fact that these guys kept taking all the hits, not firing back, but standing their ground. I would fire back. God finished work on these guys already. I'm adding Shane Felix and Cameron Law to the list. So Alan Shastney, Shane Felix, Cameron Law, and those two members of my family.
Well, I'm adding one.
Who?
I'm adding my brother Peter Chico.
Yeah.
I tell him all the time, man, let me tell you something.
God finished working on them already.
You see what you endured there. He led talking about all the people that went up against him. He's in power now. Boy, let me tell you, if I was my brother, Ernest Ile could never be a minister. Angie, you doubted me?
No, because I know.
I would say things that he don't want to say. And I'm not saying untruth, sir.
You're putting it all out there.
I'm laying everything down. Because there's a lot. There's a lot Peter Chico have not said, you know.
That's what I'm told.
And there's and St. Lucians ain't care. St. Lucians have not heard a quarter of what they need to hear in the Rovergate case.
And it's not
And
just
if
Rovergate.
I was Peter Chico, Ernest Ile could not be a minister of government. Period.
Let me tell you something, Foster. People like
And if Peter is listening,
people in that.
you'd probably say, I told you so.
Listen to me. People in that category, people like Peter Chico, Alan Shastney, Cameron Law, Shane Felix. God is finished working on them. They've had their handed over ceremony. They hand over the keys. They sell them back to the public for $1.
Now, we might be thinking so, but those guys probably have something to say, a story to tell.
Yeah, they have a story to tell. But the thing about them is I don't know.
They have a lot of retaining ability.
These guys are not. I don't think these people will die. I think these people will grow wings and fly up to like Joshua in the Bible. But you see me.
But sorry, I can't do that. Huh?
Foster, you see
I
me.
can't do that.
I tell you, I'm sorry. The scaffolding is still up. The materials are being trucked in. The mixer is mixing. And Gordon finish work stand up. The workers are posing because me. I will not look for trouble with people. But don't come for me unless I send and call you. I will not back down. Mm-hmm. I will not back down. And there are certain individuals and women who people believe are advocates for women, who have taken it upon themselves, fellow journalists who have taken it upon themselves to attack me every time I go on social media. I've since left social media for them. You know why? Because other people are saying to me. But for me alone,
Angie,
the drone strikes the drones just start striking.
I ain't giving up.
No,
I ain't giving up.
No. Because
there are some things that you have to let. You see, people say leave them for God.
God has too much to do.
God has a lot of work to do and a lot of people to watch.
Yeah.
There are things that God expects you to handle yourself. And calling upon Him, it's just like Moses used to call on God all the time, and God got vexed with Moses.
I didn't read that part in the Bible.
Huh?
I didn't read that one.
Read the Bible. Why do you think Moses never reached the promised land?
Because he cracked up tablets. I don't know.
Go back.
That's what I thought. They didn't teach that in Sunday school.
Because he threw the tablets at the people.
Yes, he did.
Let me tell you something. There are some things that God expected Moses to handle. Mm-hmm. And stop calling me. Why are you calling me? But I give you all the power. What's that in your hand?
True.
You know? Angie, I give you your stuff. I give you your pen. I give you your briefcase. I give you your rucksack on your back. What you calling me for? That's take care of your business. Do what you have to do. That's what God was telling Moses, you know. Moses crying, no, those people you gave me there, I cannot deal with them. Just tell me, but what you crying for? People want water, some people want wine, some want red wine, some want ginger wine, some want pork, some want chicken, barbecue, some want turkey backs. Moses crying. Jesus said, but what you have What you have in your hand, use your hand, do what you have to do. Stop crying, stop calling me. But God put us there, and He expects us to take care of what we have to take care of, you know.
Yep.
That's why He give us wisdom, and He tell us, use the wisdom that He gave you. If you're crying every day, oh, you don't know what tomorrow is Tuesday, you don't know what you have to do. Lord, what should I do tomorrow? But you get up in the morning, you see it's Tuesday morning. Do what you have to do on Tuesday. You might not see Wednesday. But if you get up Wednesday morning, do the same thing that
Somebody here is saying, let me tell you, honestly, Foster,
you're making us we do the triple time tonight, man.
Somebody says, Mr. Chico, not the hand that they using the grease on, trust me. Somebody says it's buckets of grease. Another person says, I strongly believe Vern Guard's contract will not be renewed. They will put the alleged corrupt cop for commissioner. Somebody says the 99-year-old lady is number one flubble.
Wow.
Somebody says, can I use you, Angie, that's big mouth? And says, Angie, do you think that your mouth is big? Have you compared your mouth to that of the Castry Central Minister? Somebody says, I think that you are a few hundred watts short as well compared to the minister. Even PJP is giving you a run for free. Somebody says, Shane mouth was blocked with a $5. Angie and Foster, April Fool's Day is coming on Wednesday. I sure will have some laughter. I better prepare my popcorn early, just like what I do for Netflix. Somebody says, that's a very dirty, wicked government, not good for the country. No one should love any bully. I dislike a bully. Let me tell you, I can't stand a bully. Somebody says, the sun does not rush, yet it never fails to rise. The tide does not argue, yet it always returns. So it is with consequences. Every decision made in darkness is recorded in time. Every act against the people, against the nation is a seed. And seeds do not disappear. They organize, they grow, and they answer. Power may delay accountability, but it cannot escape it. What is built on betrayal carries weakness within it. What is sustained by deception must eventually collapse under its own design. This is not emotion, this is law. A quiet, unbreakable order woven into time itself. There's a lot more, but that's too much. Somebody says, Mr. Chico, some St. Lucians don't care. Somebody says, not backs that remove the fence, backs. We have another says, we have a fake Moses as PM, he alone who crossed the Red Sea, LOL. Well, guys, it is our time here on Full Disclosure. Thank you for tolerating us for so long. But any final thoughts from me? For me, I second your motion. It's high time that these individuals stop playing politics with our police force.
Our security.
Yes, with our security. And for the love of God, Mr. Prime Minister, stop surrounding yourself with people of questionable character. When Tommy Descat said that the escalated crime area is the 5th floor of the Graham Louisy building, he was not telling a lie. If you look at the amount of individuals that have question marks around surrounding them, starting with the communications officer, Riani Isidore.
Man.
Do you recall that bomb scare on the airport? The suicide attempt, which by the way is attempted murder. If you attempt to commit suicide and you fail, you can be charged with attempted murder. Officer Chico, am I right or am I right? That is the law, is it not?
Well, attempting to kill yourself is not looked at as murder. It's that's why it's called suicide. So, attempted suicide. it carries the same, but they will not call it murder. You can't murder yourself.
Well, yes, you can. Well, you can decide not to
can
live
commit
anymore.
Suicide.
I decide. I
Yeah.
decide. The Sui was not involved. I decide. So, but that is questionable character. And my instructions are that this individual has allegations made against him, the same Riani Isidore.
But
who is
the
the
guy was reporting at the Masha police station during my tenure up to 2021 for an indictable case, which is a very serious matter. And it was not the bomb scare.
My instructions are
I believe that matter, if it's resolved now, within that time, I don't know. But that matter up to 2021, that matter, the man was reporting every Monday or Friday at the Masha police station. That's a fact.
my instructions are this guy has allegations of sexual misconduct leveled against him, right?
Boy, something with those guys.
Then we have some of the ministers. We have the Minister of Agriculture, who, I mean, can we call it fraud?
Just prior to the election.
Can we call it fraud if you have somebody
She said it was a personal thing. Eh?
personal or
That
not?
wasn't personal.
Personal or not?
really
You
did-
went to the bank.
Somebody who a bank transaction and
Yeah.
somebody's signing
Right, somebody guaranteeing a
guaranteeing
loan for you,
It's not a personal thing.
and you not making payments and trying to escape.
Ah, boy.
I mean, that's questionable. That's people of ill repute. Let's not talk about the housing minister. What
Infamous.
what he has
man
the
himself.
allegations that have not
Condo King.
right, the condo guy, the allegations that have not been leveled against this man is a shorter list. Then we have the Minister of Investment and Tourism,
Oh Lord.
and the allegations and instances of impropriety just keep coming. And the list goes on and on and on. Mr. Prime Minister, for the love of God, man. And now, Ronald Phillip, just stop surrounding yourself with persons of ill repute, because the optics of this is not good. Why do you think we have this huge proliferation of crime among our youth? Because they look at you guys and they say to themselves, well, I can commit whatever crime I want. I can be a minister. I can be the commissioner of police.
But Angie, the guys who voted in overwhelmingly, that's what the people want, Angie. So why are we even bothering with that, Angie?
Because
Why are we here speaking about that?
it needs to be spoken about.
Exactly.
Because it's the right thing to do. Because
that lady who's 99 there, I bet you her children will tell you or tell us that mother to have been preaching to them to be, why she lived to be 99?
because the fates haven't cut her thread yet. You keep asking me questions I don't know anything about. I guess it's because
That mother, Angie, had to be around
for a lot.
to coach her children and tell them, let me tell you something. Long life, you see that long life? Stupid people are growing old,
That's true. That's true. that is true. That is very true.
Stupid people are living to be 99 years. Huh?
This lady is older than Lucilec.
Yeah.
She probably remembers when they used to light the street lamps with matches and a ladder.
And I'm sure if she have one or two childhood friends, if she have one, she have to. Angie, can you imagine yourself living to be 102 years, Angie.
I want to be 100.
All the people you went to school with, gone already.
At least I'll know where they are. They have some that disappear, you can't find them. At least I'll know where they are. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing, Foster. Here's a serious, this is serious. Persons with, I hope this lady's family take the opportunity to learn from her about the days gone by. I think that's very important. Our elder folks, they have something to say. And a lot of these individuals, I'm so surprised to know that their faculties are there, you know.
They're still, but I know some people in the 90s and the people doing their gardening.
Listen,
and everything.
my great-grandmother died at the age of 96. And I believe that she wanted to go. She said as much. And this lady was sharp as a tack. And she was doing everything. And nobody can tell you they love you like my great-grandmother. And I had the opportunity, I was saying last evening to a member of my family, one of the younger ones, appreciate your elder folks. I was blessed.
Oh, yeah.
I had 5 mothers growing up. I was so lucky. I met both of my mother's grandmothers, both of them, on her mother's side and on her father's side. And then her mother, and my father's mother, and my mother. So I had 5 mothers growing up, and aunts and uncles, and grand aunts and grand uncles, and God blessed me with these individuals. And I think that's why I am the way I am. I learned from these people. I spoke to them. I learned a lot about St. Lucia's history, a lot that a lot of people don't even know.
Yeah.
When I mention these things, people ask me where you get that from. But you talk to these older folks because they remember. They remember the way it used to be. They remember how things happened. You know, I'm able to trace my mother's family all the way back to indentured servitude, right? Because I spoke to these people and they tell you my mother was there, and, you know, they tell you the family history. And a lot of us black people, a lot of us in St. Lucia, not just in St. Lucia, but a lot of us West Indian folk, we don't appreciate our elders, so we lose a lot of our history. And I was blessed. So the family members of this lady who is 99, take the opportunity now. Sit with her. Ask her about her childhood. Ask her what she can remember about her family, her grandparents, the way they lived. You'll be surprised what you learn. You know, we always so frustrated with our older folks. We don't have time for them. We don't want to hear what they have to say. But if we just stop and listen, we are going to learn so much. Trust me. I did not regret growing up with my older folks. I did not regret sitting at their knee and listening to their stories. And I cannot say that it did me wrong. So that's the best advice I can give you. She's turning 99. Celebrate it, but make sure you have a conversation.
Yes.
Get to know where you're from. Get to know the blood that runs through your veins. You know? That's how I know there was a family of Caribs living in the area where Baudelaire is there, that the Caribs used to live up there. And because my father's grandparents and their grandparents, they were from that area and they were Caribs, and they have stories of, you know, black people running away from the plantations and running up there and joining them. And, you know, I mean, you listen, you'd be surprised the treasures you uncover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Angie, hopefully next week we'll probably wrap up some of what we're doing there. By then, we'll have a new commissioner or an All Fools Day commissioner. We'll come back next week because there are one or two little things that we need to touch again. But I mean, today my cylinders, I even use all my cylinders yet, because I run into some people with some buckets of grease, and that just mess up.
Oh my God. Guys, I am kicking Foster off for now. I really am kicking him off. I've had it with Foster today. Foster is really... Somebody's telling me, please don't repeat that man's nonsense when I was repeating what the Prime Minister said. I don't know why the people don't like to listen to the Prime Minister, He always... Anyway, let me stop now. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Somebody says, oh, this person knows a lot about their history, and that's good. That's good. I'm so proud of that. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye-bye.